FSN.
Pride, spirit, competition, bedlam. Today, 15th BCS-ranked Oklahoma tackles intrastate rival Oklahoma State for their annual tradition of high-intensity football, the Bedlam Series. And with a Texas Longhorns loss on Friday, the Sooners are playing for more than bragging rights. The Big 12 South title is on the line, while the Cowboys have their sights on postseason bowling. When these two conference arch rivals go face-to-face, anything can happen. The fight for Oklahoma and the Big 12 South title on the line. It will be Bedlam in Stillwater this afternoon. Are you ready for Bedlam? From Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma, it's Big 12 football presented by Kyocera. Today, number 15 Oklahoma will face the Oklahoma State Cowboys in the 101st renewal of the Bedlam rivalry game. And it got a whole lot more interesting in the Big 12 South thanks to Texas A&M yesterday bumping off the University of Texas. As a result, Oklahoma, with a win today, heads to Kansas City to play for the Big 12 championship. Welcome, everyone. I'm Bill Land along with Gary Reasons. A little more fuel on the fire thanks to the Aggies.
No doubt about that. This ballgame takes some significant changes. But we talked to both coaches, and they said, no, nothing really changes. But you can't tell that to the fans, and I think even the players. It should be a lot of fun out there, Bill.
Well, for the Oklahoma team, injury update. Once again, no Adrian Peterson. The collarbone has not healed enough for him to play today. But they've actually done very well without him, if you can believe that.
They've got a great running group. Adrian Peterson, the numbers that he's put up. These are the top rushing performances. You throw Alan Patrick in there, and who we will see today, Chris Brown. They've got a great job running the football. The Sooners have. They've controlled the football. Chris Brown, who's going to get this start, will be his second start of his career. 169 yards last week against the Baylor Bears. He's a guy that has a lot of elusiveness, and he's a power runner.
Now, on the other side for Oklahoma State, very balanced team, but the running game is critical. It's been more by committee for the year, but lately the go-to guy has become Dontrell Savage.
Well, Dontrell Savage has done a great job running the ball for the Pokes, and I tell you what, they are the #1 rushing football team in the Big 12 Conference, and they've done a great job with it. Dontrell Savage is emerging as a star, and what he has done with the football in his hands is really remarkable. He's got great quickness, great elusiveness, and great speed. Mike Gundy talked about him, and he saw him in training camp and said, hey, this guy's got a bright future.
He certainly has played that way the last couple of weeks for the Cowboys. Should be fun. You never know what will happen here. In 01, Rashawn Woods with a big catch as OSU upset the Sooners. Last year, Adrian Peterson went nuts for Oklahoma. Coming up next, we'll go to the studio. Mike Goldberg and the crew in L.A. as we get ready for Bedlam. Welcome, Kyocera's College Football Saturday, the 101st running of Bedlam football here in Oklahoma. The Cowboys of Oklahoma State 6-5, 3-4 in Big 12 play, and the Sooners 9-2, 6-1. Throughout the day, we'll have our college football awards picked by the FSN crew. We start with our inspirational players of the year, OU's Carl Pendleton, OSU's Martell Van Zandt, the winners for very different reasons. We start with Carl Pendleton. Here's Jim Knox.
Hey, thank you very much, Bill. Carl Pendleton will be playing his final Bedlam Series game. You see, he's a junior, but he's foregoing his final year due to family and also education. His parents are going through a tough divorce in Tulsa, so what Carl is doing is adopting, basically, his little brother, Kirsten. He's 10 years old. He wants to move in with him in Norman, Oklahoma, in a small one-bedroom apartment so he can bring him up right. Carl Pendleton will be playing his final Bedlam Series game, and he wants to go out on top and also give Kirsten maybe a little present there. With more on OSU, let's go over to Oklahoma State sidelines and join Emily Jones. Emily?
Jim, thank you. A pretty inspirational story here on the Oklahoma State sidelines as well. Junior cornerback Martell Van Zandt was born deaf, but he's able to play football with the help of an interpreter. Apparently I need some help around here. He's able to play football with the help of an interpreter who is able to communicate between he and the coaches. The great thing about this story is that the fans have gotten in on it. This is the sign for applause. So don't be surprised if today number 7 makes a big play and this crowd goes quiet. They're showing Martell Van Zandt they appreciate his play.
All right, thank you very much, Emily. Today's game is presented in FSN HD as Oklahoma meets Oklahoma State. And the Cowboys have won the toss. They've elected to receive. And as a result, OU will kick it off with Garrett Hartley. You saw him lining up. Tommy Devereaux and Grant Jones are the deep fellas for Oklahoma State. Jones is a guy that's already taken one back for a touchdown and is #1 in the nation in kick return. Here is Hartley's kick. Jones from the goal line. Breaks the tackle to the 15, trying to muscle his way, and does so just past the 20-yard line. Tackle made by DJ Wolf of the Sooners. Let's take a look at our Kyocera starting lineups. First of all, for Oklahoma State, Bobby Reed, the sophomore out of Houston, Texas, leads him at quarterback. He has thrown for 22 touchdowns so far this year, and his total yards at 24-18. He's starting to break some marks set by his coach, Mike Gundy.
Well, Bill, and his improvement this year at the quarterback spot for the Cowboys is a huge reason for their success offensively. We'll take a look at their numbers. They have steadily moved up the charts in all categories.
Saw Toasted in motion, and the Cowboys keep it on the ground with Savage. Gets out to just across the 25-yard line. Alexander made the tackle. Now our Kyocera offensive group for the Cowboys up front. Hilliard, Koenig, as well as Washington Siegfried, who was an original walk-on. He's quite a story. And Okung. And the second were the receivers and the backs. Savage is the guy who's become the man of the moment. Bowman is a big-time playmaker. #1 in the league in yards receiving per game. Oklahoma State with the football. 2nd and 5. Bobby Reed. And it is complete. And that will be a first down as he completes it to Keith Toston, the freshman from Angleton, Texas. Now defensively, let's take a look for the Oklahoma Sooners. One of the top defenses in the country. And Burdine, Coleman, Bennett, and Thibodeau have been creating havoc up front. Alexander, an all-conference pick a year ago, their leading tackler. Walker, Williams, Smith, and Holmes in the secondary. Williams got banged up last week, and I believe Lewis Baker is getting a call in his place here today. We'll keep track of that. It is 1st and 10 for OSU. The Cowboys on the ground. Great play action by Reed, and Savage takes advantage of it as he bolts to the 42-yard line. Reggie Smith, the safety, makes the tackle. Our Mitsubishi Motors keys to the game. We start with the post.
Well, I think they need to get out early, play well offensively. You see him here getting Dontrell Savage going, running the football. They've got to get the return dominance. They've got a great kick and punt return game, and I think on defense, they've got to relentlessly pursue the football and get to those OU running backs. They can have a big day defensively against this football team if they're able to slow the OU running game somehow.
Savage, he is stopped for a loss at the 40-yard line as Zach Latimer, a senior from Denver, Colorado, making the stop. Now let's take a look at the Sooners' keys.
Well, Oklahoma in this football game, Bill, there's no doubt about it. They've had fumbleitis. They've dropped too many balls. They lead the nation, put 21 balls on the ground. But I think on defense, they've got to pick your poison. What do they want to do with Oklahoma State? They want to defend their running game or their passing game. It's going to be interesting to see what they do there. Make that kicker be a dear part of their heart. Garrett Hartley's done a great job for them this year in the field goal area. It's okay to kick field goals in, I think, a tight, close ball game that we'll see here today.
Yeah, he's at 17 of 18 on the year. 3rd and 3 for the Cowboys, first possession.
Gone!
Reed completes it. Bowman, 45-50, and out of bounds, and they'll maintain possession. 1st and 10. Marcus Walker makes the tackle for Oklahoma.
You see Oklahoma State doing a lot of different things with the football here, running the football, and also throwing it out. Darius Bowman, who is a dangerous receiver. He's 6'5", he's a great frame. Watch him putting the stiff arm out there, and he just tries to get separation. No chance for Marcus Walker to get to his body to make a tackle. Darius Bowman is a big play weapon in this Oklahoma State offense.
Now look at those numbers. He picks up 12 yards here on the 1st and 10 for OSU in Oklahoma territory.
Hold on!
And it's complete across the middle this time to Woods. Yeah, Zach Robinson made the pass at quarterback.
Exactly right. That's a little different shift that they do. They'll take Zach Robinson, throw him in there, and they'll throw the quarterback to the outside as a wide receiver. Zach Robinson's got a good command of the football. They like his passing ability, throwing it inside on the route there, so Very good job at Latimer making the tackle on DeJuan Woods.
Robinson's a redshirt freshman out of Littleton, Colorado, and he completes his 18th pass of the year. He's thrown for over 200 yards now, and the Cowboys making it easy so far. It's 2nd and 2, OSU. Bowman, the man in motion. You'll see a lot of that today. Savage looking for a hole. And he's across the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Now, some mention Barry Sanders when they talk about this guy. He was banged up early. Mike Gundy prefers to say more of a Vernon Morency type, and I think type is what we need to call
Well, either way, you look at this running back, and he's got great ability. His ability to move, shift from right to left and make people miss. He's got quick feet, great acceleration out of the break. That's what makes Dontrell Savage special. You saw a play earlier in the ball game where he took it right off the right guard and went up the hole for about 8 yards. And he just decided to take that in there. That's the kind of big play capability that he has. And, you know, we talked with Mike Gundy in this football about this football game, Bill, and whether or not the focus from them changes because of what actually happening with Texas losing the ball game yesterday. And he told us that really it's probably just the same thing. Preparation doesn't change.
I think, and I agree to a point both coaches said, how do you get more excited for this game? You know, this is Bedlam football. These schools are certainly the dominant story in the state of Oklahoma. The only Major League professional franchise is the NBA Hornets that are on lease. And
yeah, for sure,
this game is everything. It is the biggest event in the state every year. You saw they got the first down on the measurement, 1st and 10 for Oklahoma State at the 38-yard line of Oklahoma on the opening possession for the Cowboys. Reed back in, hands off to Savage, and Savage tripped up near the 37-yard line, and Rufus Alexander making the tackle. How about today's game? Well, we had a chance to visit with head coach Mike Gundy and the effect in getting ready for such a big contest.
2 teams compete, and if we're going to prepare and go out on Saturday and play as hard as we can, and another team wins a game before us, I don't see how that really factor into preparation, which it shouldn't, and then how you play on game day.
2nd and 9 as Reed keeps the football, and he is stopped on the OSU sideline near the 38-yard line where Granger makes the tackle. Reed doing as he's instructed there, though, right, Gary?
Well, he says he wants to have Bobby Reed play within the style of the offense, and what that means is not making mistakes. He says if the receivers are covered, go ahead and pull down and run it as they bring Zach Robinson back into the football game and they take Bobby Reed out. So looks like Mike Gundy has decided to use Zach Robinson perhaps in a passing role here early in this ball game.
10th play of the drive for Oklahoma State, a team 2nd in the league in scoring at 36 plus a game. Robinson back in at quarterback, and he completes it to Woods. Breaks the tackle, dives near the 20-yard line. He stepped out of bounds just before as Jason Carter makes the tackle for Oklahoma.
Well, Oklahoma, they need to get to the quarterback, not doing it on this play because Zach Robinson has plenty of time to throw the football back there and not even tight coverage at all on DeJuan Woods on the outside. You take a look at Zach Robinson, he's got protection here. He's going to look to the right side of the field, then come back to the left side, and he's going to get the ball out to DeJuan Woods. So they've got soft coverage. You see the corner blitz there coming. Not in time to stop the throw to get out to DeJuan Woods.
And the Cowboys, 1st and 10. Oklahoma hadn't touched the football yet. And this is an Oklahoma defense that is best in the league, allowing just 265 yards a game. Reed got a man and caught at the 5-yard line as Marcus Walker was covering on the play. Had to see if that ball was trapped or not, and it's a gain of 15 yards.
Well, Darius Bowman doing a good job of catching the football early in this ball game. They want to get the ball to him. He's a playmaker for him. We talked to Mike Gundy about how are they going to defend him? How do teams defend a Darius Bowman? They say they do it different ways. If they can get matchups where it's one-on-one, they feel like they can get the ball to a Darius.
1st and goal at the 5 after Bowman's reception sets him up. Savage punches it in. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. With his 7th touchdown of the year.
Well, I talked about getting out early, and that's exactly what Oklahoma State does on this opening drive, running the football effectively with Dontrell Savage and also throwing the ball to one of their big playmakers, Darius Bowman, getting great yardage there and a great job of using your different personnel. Zach Robinson coming in, playing a little quarterback, along with Bobby Reed here for the Cowboys.
Jason Ricks for the point after. He's a sophomore from Round Rock, Texas, just outside Austin, where you know they're all watching today. And his kick is good. Oklahoma State, impressive indeed. Savage caps off a 79-yard touchdown drive to open the football game. We'll be right back in Stillwater. Old taste to start this game as they take the opening kick and drive it 79 yards for a TD by Savage. And our Dodge scoring drive, they eat up 5, 11, 12 plays, and Savage gets the score. And Oklahoma State leads at 7-0. Bruce Redden will kick it off now for Oklahoma State. And the Sooners will decide to down it in the end zone as Smith will set it up. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20 on the touchback. And Kyocera gives our starting lineups. Paul Thompson has been absolutely incredible as a senior out of Leander, Texas, passing for over 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns to just 7 interceptions. Keeps him out of the bad play.
Yeah, when we talked to Bob Stoops about him, I asked him, I say, who is your MVP or MVPs for this football team? First words out of his mouth, that young man, Paul Thompson. He said couldn't say enough about Paul Thompson, the character that he brings to this football team, and how well he has played on the field this season.
Found out in August he was coming back as a quarterback, not a wide receiver, when Bomar was dismissed from the team, and he has been superb. 1st and 10, and Patrick bolts right up the middle. 35, 40, 45. How's that ankle? Alan Patrick, who missed the last game because of a sprained ankle, and the coaches told us we think he's ready to go. I guess so.
Yeah, they actually had listed Chris Brown as a starter, but take a look at Alan Patrick. He's not missing a step. He's showing he's still got that great speed. Bill, I watched him warm up, and he looked like he's the same old Alan Patrick that we saw a couple weeks back, doing great things on the ground, running that football. And with him in the ball game and the ability to bring Chris Brown in to help him spell, they've got a couple of tailbacks that give OU some great running power.
Missed 2 games. Last played against A&M when he had 173 yards on 32 carries. And then Gutierrez and Brown took over the last 2 games. Now let's take a look at Kyocera presenting our lineups here. As you saw Patrick a late change up front. Messner's the old guy. The rest are youngsters. They call him Dad for his leadership. And Brown, I'm sure we'll see him today. Eldridge has been superb at the tight end as a blocker. We've also got Iglesias and Kelly, who are big-time game breakers. And Finley is a guy who got a touchdown last week in the receiving game against Baylor. And again,
that's Chris Brown, Bill. That's your second carry. They brought Alan Patrick out after that first play, and they put Chris Brown in the football game.
Now defensively, our Kyocera lineups for Oklahoma State. Up front, you've got Smith, McBean, Brown, and Victor DeGrade, who's missed the last 2 games. He's got 8.5 sacks on the year. He is key. You see Nathan as well as Johnson and Levine in the secondary. Van Zant, Woods, Sexton, their leading tackler overall.
I'm looking on the field here. I don't see Victor DeGrade out there yet. They're going with number 97, Marquis Fountain, that one defensive end. He's done a great job as well coming in there for DeCrate, so perhaps he's just not ready to go yet.
3rd and 1, Oklahoma, and Brown again rumbles to the 39-yard line, and the tackle made by Johnson. Gary, what I like about this game, we already saw a quarterback flip-flop for Oklahoma State that didn't necessarily expect in the opening series, and then Oklahoma says, well, we'll show you a little Patrick. Boom. He bolts one up the middle. Well, now here's Chris Brown.
Well, that's what you got, fresh legs. Alan Patrick comes in there, runs the football with a lot of speed right through the hole. Nobody touches him going through the line, and then you bring Chris Brown in, who's a little bit more of a durable back, I think. He's got a little better lower center of gravity. He runs the ball well, and he breaks tackles.
Brown, 5'10", 190, a freshman out of Alexandria, Louisiana. And now Thompson. He's got good straight-ahead speed. He is corralled here near the 37-yard line. For Dr. Pepper Game Break, let's go to Mike Goldberg.
Bill, you guys have been talking about it all day long. This is why OU is in a great position to take Bedlam to a championship game, because yesterday Texas A&M upsets Texas in Austin 12-7. The Big 12 title in the South is wide open, Bill.
Thank you very much, Mike. And the Aggies, with Dennis Franchione getting his first win as a head coach against Texas. And wow, what a game that was. Here's Brown. And Larry Brown meets him. The 6'3", 295-pound senior out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. And Fountain also there.
Well, when you have the big defensive tackles, Larry Brown, he's almost a 300-pounder down here at the bottom of the screen. You got two defensive tackles here. They're going to set the line here, and if they can get some penetration early in that play, it's going to be hard for the Sooners to get running. Good job by Larry Brown of making penetration into the Sooners' backfield.
3rd and 7 at the 37 now as Oklahoma. No huddle lines it up with Thompson. Patrick is the back behind him. Kelly wide right. He is a huge playmaker with 8 TDs this year. And it is complete across the middle and taken in as Oklahoma. Looks like they'll move the chains to see where they spot the football. Finley, the tight end with the reception, junior out of Arlington, Texas.
Yeah, Joe John Finley getting up there, just sitting down between the linebackers. Zone coverage there, a little bracket on the outside, and good job by Paul Thompson of reading the defense. He's a smart quarterback, Bill. He makes good decisions with the football. That's what makes him such a good competitor, too. He's a leader out there, but his decision-making, where he throws the ball and not throw the ball, I think is really key for his performance.
1st and 10, Oklahoma. Patrick met after a yard or two. He's tackled by Martell Van Zandt. Let's send it down to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Bill. Talked to Alan Patrick before the game, and you can tell, as Gary said, he was cut and he was ready to go. He was pumped up, fired up, and keep in mind, he's healthy right now, he says, and he's also had a couple weeks off, so he should be fresh, and he's definitely looks like he is ready, guys.
Both these teams look ready offensively as Oklahoma State took it the length of the field on the opening drive. Oklahoma trying to pay him back here in Bedlam, trailing 7-0, but a 2nd down and 7. And again, Patrick rolls down near the 20-yard line. Patrick Levine, a freshman out of Jersey Village High School down in the Houston area, makes the stop. There's Patrick's numbers. All this without Adrian Peterson.
Well, the Sooners, they've done a great job of running the football by committee. Talked about the big runs for this football team early on for this season with Adrian Peterson, Alan Patrick, and also Chris Brown. The 3 of them up over 100 yards in several ball games this year. So they've got plenty of weapons back there to run the football for the Sooners.
Peterson had 935 yards when he exited, still 2nd overall in the Big 12. Thompson got all day and completes it to Finley. He's got a 1st down before he's popped out of bounds near the 13, and Van Zandt there covering him.
Well, if you ever want to look at a quarterback and see what his decision-making ability is, this is Paul Thompson at his best on this play. He has a receiver at the goal line, and he chooses not to throw that football because there was double coverage there. Quickly pumps it and goes back to the outside to Finley on the edge, who gets a 5-6 yard gain, but still a 1st down for the Sooners. That's impressive for a quarterback to do that. I know that Bob Stoops is very pleased with how he has played, not only this season, but early in this ballgame.
So Mike Gundy without the hat, trying to get his defense fired up here. Patrick broke a couple and powers his way down near the 3-yard line where Andre Sexton makes the tackle.
Well, I don't know if Alan Patrick was a hurdler in high school, but he's a hurdler in college because he did just that on this play. Instead of going in there hitting contact, he just takes that right leg, that lead leg. If you're going to be a hurdler, take a look at this in X-mode slow motion here. Good job with this camera work. It comes right over his offensive line. That's pretty cool stuff.
That is up close. All right. 1st and goal to go for Oklahoma. Patrick cannot muscle his way in. Helmets come rolling out of there. Yeah, it is Bedlam, folks. Johnson and Levine make the tackle. Oklahoma's won the last 3 in this series and dominant overall, 77, 16, and 7 in favor of the Sooners.
Well, Bill, if there's one knock here on this Oklahoma State football team, it really is what they have done defensively. You take a look at Oklahoma's, what they've done in the red zone. Almost perfect this year. They lead the Big 12 Conference in that area. But Oklahoma State's defense, giving up 376 yards a game. Not near where they'd like to be. They've made improvements there, but they haven't gotten to the level of consistent play defensively that I'm sure that Mike Gundy's trying to strive for.
2nd and goal from the 3, and this time Oklahoma is in. Touchdown, Chris Brown. Brown gets his 5th score of the year, and it's a 7-6 ball game pending the kick.
Well, you got some Sooner fans here, no doubt about it. It's Bedlam, and it's going to be a great ball game. I think it's going to be like this. It's very physical, very intense. These players have come to play. Running the football effectively are the Sooners early in this ball game. Alan Patrick, Chris Brown as well. The 2 of them getting the job done on the ground for Oklahoma.
And now the Sooners try to tie it up as Garrett Hartley, Gary mentioned what a valuable tool he's been for him. 39 of 39 in the PAT department. and no problem. He booms it through, and the Sooners have tied up the Cowboys here. Brown gets the TD, and your serve, Oklahoma State, as Oklahoma evens it up on its first possession. We'll be right back. Let's take you back in the Bedlam Series to 1984 in Norman. Oklahoma quarterback Danny Bradley hitting All-American tight end Keith Jackson as the Sooners down the Pokes 24-14.
He's showing a little dancing ability there, huh, Bill?
Oh, yeah, excited that he got the football thrown to him.
That wishbone offense, those opportunities were few.
Welcome back here. Bill and Gary Reasons, Jim Knox, Emily Jones. Dodge scoring drive. Brown capping off the 80-yard, 13-play drive on a 3-yard run. And Devereaux and Jones await Hartley's kick. And it is taken by Oklahoma State's Devereaux. The 15, 20. Spins 30 and powered forward to the 32-yard line. So Oklahoma State will get pretty good field position, a 28-yard return. We're back with more on Bedlam football in a moment. Welcome back to Kyocera's College Football Saturday from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Big 12 finale. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma Sooners win. They go to the Big 12 title game in Kansas City to meet Nebraska. Sooners lose, and Texas will go representing the South. Zach Robinson will start this possession as the quarterback for Oklahoma State. Just their second possession. Just joined us, each team scoring on their opening drive. Robinson keeps the football, and he picks up a nice gain, gets to near the 38-yard line. Reggie Smith, the strong safety, makes the tackle. The Cowboys last year went 4-7, won just once in the league. Part of the reason for the improvement, a huge part, look at the offense and how it's compared to a year ago.
Well, every category, rushing yardage, and most importantly, the points per game. If you're going from 20 points to 36 points a game, you're going to win a lot more football games. But every category with Larry Fedora, the new offensive coordinator here at Oklahoma State, they have improved immensely, and it really, in part, comes to the quarterback play of Bobby Reed and I think Adarius Bowman, combining that with Dontrell Savage and the rest of the running backs for Oklahoma State.
Reed back in here, keeps the football one-on-one, trying to beat a man, and scoots out of bounds. Nice job defensively by Alonzo Dotson, who's able to hang with the super quick Bobby Reed. Reed has run this year for 446 yards coming into this game. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com, where you'll find thousands of brand name products and savings of up to 70% every day of the week. That's Overstock.com.
Well, Alonzo Dotson does a nice job coming up there and holding that quarterback and not able to run around Bobby Reed. Alonzo Dotson getting to play a little defensive end here in this football game and doing a great job of not allowing Bobby Reed to make yardage.
3rd and 7 from the 35. Look at 3rd and 6 officially as Reed in the shotgun. Savage. And it looks like the first kick of the day, punting-wise. Flag is thrown, though, with 2:07 to go in the first quarter. Baker and Dotson in on the tackle for the Sooners. There is Lewis Baker, junior out of Carrollton, Texas.
I think we may have a false start here by Oklahoma State. May have had a player move forward a little bit before the snap, which is an illegal motion penalty. So let's see how they call this here.
Talking to Captain Rufus Alexander.
Number 12, penalty is the punt. Left down.
So Oklahoma has held, and Oklahoma State with Bowman on the motion penalty.
You know, Bill, in a game like this, kicking is okay, whether you're end of possession with a PAT or a field goal, but at a punt also. And the beginning of the play there, we had a player start just a little bit early there for Oklahoma State, causing the penalty, but the Sooners decline it, going to get the football here on the punt.
Reggie Smith is back to return the kick, and Fodge is punting. Smith got hammered before he caught the football, and a flag is thrown at the 15-yard line.
Now you're going to have illegal catch interference, a little tongue twister there, but that's what's going to be the penalty here against the Cowboys, not allowing Reggie Smith to cleanly catch that football. And he had dropped one last week against Baylor and had one go off his shoulder pads and was recovered by Baylor, and they put points on the board from it. So you take a look here at the end, and contact there right before the ball was there, and
Quentin Moore from 26 making the hit there. And they'll sort this out.
Kick catch interference. Number 26 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And a great shot of it there with our Exmo camera. Quentin Moore just, hey, he's doing a great job covering. You're trying to make plays down there. That is so close. You never know whether you're going to be a half a step ahead or half a step behind. But Moore here, you'll see the contact just before the ball gets there. Reggie Smith, no chance to catch it.
So Oklahoma gets second possession here in the final minutes of the first quarter, and they'll get it on their own 31-yard line. You figure these teams, special teams, are going to figure in some way. Certainly hoping there's a penalty-wise for either club though. And here's Alan Patrick to the 31-yard line, and is stopped there by Johnson. For Dr. Pepper game break, let's go to Mike Goldberg.
Bill, number 4 Florida still thinking that they have a chance to make it in the BCS title game to play Ohio State. But first things first, they got to get FSU out of the way. Their arch rivals have tied it at 14 early in the fourth quarter. Can you say rivalry?
That is the fun time of year as we close out the regular season. All these matchups right here at Danley and Bedlam. 7-7, second possession Sooners, and second down, and running the football is Alan Patrick. He rips out to near the 37-yard line where Andre Sexton makes the tackle for Oklahoma State.
Well, Alan Patrick gets about 3 or 4 yards and actually runs into one of his offensive linemen. If he had missed him, he would have scooted right down the field without anybody slowing him up. But good job of blocking up front, open a hole up for Alan Patrick running the football. But key third down here now for Oklahoma with good field position. You like to convert these to continue this drive.
Oklahoma 9-2. They have certainly been on a roll, the hottest team in the league, having won 6 straight after a 3-2 start. They're facing a 3rd and 4 here. Thompson delivers, incomplete. Van Zandt breaks up the play, and a flag is thrown.
I think Martell Van Zandt got there just a little bit early. He read the play here. It's going to be a quick little in route.
Manuel Johnson, the intended receiver.
Yeah, Van Zandt contact there before the ball got there, so it's going to be a pass interference penalty here on Martell.
Pass interference. Number 7 of the defense. Spot foul.
First down. Well, Martell's going to be on the outside, and watch him close there on it. He gets contact there before the ball gets there. Manuel Johnson back in the football game here. Didn't play last week, but back in the game here for the Sooners this week.
5'11", 177. He's out of Gilmer, Texas. And it's 1st and 10 at the 44. And Oklahoma State answers this time as Patrick gets the handoff. Naveen there to stop him for OSU. Mike Gundy saying this game comes down a lot of times to just pure toughness. As who wants it the most here? That ends our first quarter with the score Oklahoma 7, Oklahoma State 7. You're watching Big 12 football presented by Kyocera. We'll return after this word from Dr. Pepper, your local Dr. Pepper bottle. Welcome back. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State knotted at 7 as we enter the second quarter. FSN with Big 12 awards being handed out today, and our newcomer of the year from FSN. Hard to argue with Darius Bowman in the year he's had here after transferring from North Carolina.
Well, had a 300-yard passing game against Kansas earlier this year, and he's had 11 touchdowns on the season, Bill. He is a big weapon out there. He's a big receiver. He's a go-to guy here for the Cowboys, and very deserved, I think, of that award for newcomer of the year.
He had an unbelievable game against Kansas. 13 receptions, 300 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And Mike Gundy said that's when the rest of the country may have learned about him. But he was a big playmaker consistently well before that game. Since that game, though, he sees all kinds of double coverage and bracket coverage, as they call it. And that's one of the reasons they move him around so many places to try to free him up. And if they do continue to do that, then they rely on the running game. Right now, it's OU football, though. It's 2nd down and 9 for the Sooners. And again, Brown finds a nice gap, and he goes into Oklahoma State territory near the 47-yard line. Andre Sexton, the stopper.
I'll tell you, offensively, Trent Williams, number 71, the right tackle for the Sooners, doing a great job of blocking. Just winning the corner here, allowing Chris Brown to run. Watch on the right side here. Watch the block that he has out here, and he just going to continue. If you just watch him throughout the play, he's going to take you to get a pancake there, and Chris Brown runs in behind it. Well, if you win at the line of scrimmage like that, you're going to make a lot of yardage running the football.
OU, 15 carries, 72 yards rushing so far for the Sooners as we start the second quarter. Not much on this attempt.
It looks like it's going to be close to the first down yardage. They'll be able to third and short. And if the line judge on the far side is where they're going to spot the football, I think they're going to get the first down there with that effort by Brown.
Brown, 24 carries, 169 yards against Baylor last week for a touchdown. The week before, he scored twice in the win over Texas Tech, had 84 yards rushing. Johnson makes the tackle here.
Yeah, and Rod Johnson's coming out of the football game and kind of got dinged on that play, the middle linebacker. So it's like I think Marcus Brown's going to come in for him, number 35, and play a little bit at the Mike linebacker spot.
Sophomore from Georgia replaces him as Oklahoma facing a 1st and 10 now. Cowboy 45, Thompson, play action. Incomplete. Trying to go to Jermaine Gresham on the play. He was covered by Martell Van Zandt. Tomorrow I'll be there live for the first show that breaks down the new BCS standings. The official BCS rating show is exclusively on FSN. Find out who's moving up, who's moving out, and who's moving on towards a berth in a BCS bowl game. The official BCS rating show presented by KFC. That's tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. only on FSN.
Yeah, that should be a fun one to watch with what's happened this weekend, especially with the Texas loss and A&M winning, and potentially here for Oklahoma. If they're able to win this football game against the Cowboys, it's really going to shake things up.
2nd and 10. Thompson in trouble, and he is brought down as Oklahoma State sacks him on the Sooner 47-yard line, Patrick Levine.
Well, Patrick Levine, he's the number 2 tackler for this Cowboy football team, and able to come through there and do a good job here. Just watch on the right side. Paul Thompson is just going to take a little bit too long here in getting this ball off. He has a lot of time, good protection early, but it just kind of collapses, and Patrick Levine just comes from the edge, and nobody blocks him. He just makes a nice play.
Oklahoma State, number 6 in the country in tackles for loss at almost 8 per game.
And that's their 35th sack of the season, Bill. They've done a good job of getting to opposing quarterbacks.
3rd down and 18 for the Sooners. Thompson gonna keep it. 50, slides well short of the original line of scrimmage there as Van Zandt makes the stop. And each defense is starting to adjust.
Well, the defense is starting to adjust. Good rush that time on the outside by Nate Peterson, number 13. He's what caused Paul Thompson to have to pull that ball down and run. I thought he was actually held on the play. Chris Messner, the left tackle for Oklahoma, but no caller on the play. But nonetheless, a good job by Oklahoma State forcing a punt here.
Michael Cohen, who's their long kicker, will boot this one away. He averages 42.7 a kick. This one bounces on the 2 and goes into the end zone. And Oklahoma State will get it back after a 48-yard punt from Cohen. You're watching it all on FSN. Six years ago here in Stillwater, the number 1 Sooners were leading the Cowboys by 12 when Tatum Bell unleashed this 60-yard run. Late in the game, the Cowboys tried to take the lead. But on a 4th and 12, Aso Pogai's pass attempt to Marcellus Rivers batted away by Derek Strait, and the Sooners win again 12-7. Tatum Bell is here today, and he's with our Emily Jones.
He is, thanks to a Thanksgiving Day game. Tatum Bell is here, former OSU running back. Tatum, how does it feel to be home? What do you think about this OSU program?
It's on the rise, definitely. New facilities. Boone Pickens did a lot to help everything out, and the football team starting to get better. Better and better recruits, and hopefully we can grow into being, turn to a dominant, program with us.
How are things going in Denver? I know you've been out of the lineup for a few weeks. You're going to be back against Seattle on Sunday?
Yeah, I was able to go Thanksgiving. Coach just felt, it was best for me to sit out one more week, and so I'll be 100% instead of 80, 90%. Most definitely I'll be back in Seattle.
Coming back here to Stillwater, what do you think about the facilities upgrades, what they're doing, and what kind of program this is going to be recruiting-wise?
Oh yeah, it's going to be a huge lift for the recruiting. I'm shocked, just to see everything. My first time in the stadium since it's been remodeled, and I definitely continue to help recruit or do the best I can to try to get athletes here too. So.
Now I got to ask you, a lot of Denver Broncos fans probably wonder, is anybody different going to be handing you the football on Sunday?
I'm not entertaining nothing about those quarterbacks. I'm not getting an outlet.
I had to ask.
I'm not going to go there.
Okay. All right, guys. Tatum Bell on the sidelines for Bedlam. His Oklahoma State Cowboys tied up at 7 right now with the Sooners.
All right, thank you, Emily. Thanks to Tatum Bell as Reed rolls out to pass, and it is incomplete, intended for Bowman. Reggie Smith covering on the play. And let's check in with Mike Goldberg in a Dr. Pepper game break.
It is official in Morgantown, Bill. Number 7, West Virginia, upset by South Florida. Steve Slayton held to 43 yards. Pat White to just 17 yards rushing. The Bulls beat the Mountaineers. And number 4, Florida has regained the lead. Chris Leak to Dallas Baker, fourth quarter. Gators 21-14 over the Noles.
Thank you very much. Surprise to some. Had the opportunity, though, to watch that South Florida bunch with Coach Levitt. They're a very talented bunch, and boy, has he done a nice job in building that program. 3rd and 11 coming up for Oklahoma State here. Reed keeps the football, and he's crunched pretty good near the 26-yard line. Larry Burdine unloading, the senior out of Lawton, Oklahoma.
Yeah, choosing to go with the down-the-line option here on 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 with Bobby Reed coming around the edge, and he pays for it. Larry Burdine not getting a sack, but getting a firm tackle on him after a gain of about 5 yards. So Matt Foch, who's one of the best punters this year in the Big 12, will have a chance to perhaps flip the field for Mike Gundy.
Hodge at 46.1, his longest is a 72-yarder. Sophomore from Garland, Texas, in the Dallas area. Reggie Smith deep on his own 30. He booms it. Fair catch. Smith takes care of business at the 32-plus. 42-yard punt for Oklahoma State's Fodge. 7-7 in Stillwater. College Football Saturday on FSN is presented by Kyocera Wireless. Take your texting to the next level with the new Kyocera Strobe. Kyocera Wireless reminds you to dial responsibly. Brought to you in part by Dr. Pepper. 23 flavors that add up to one bold taste. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it. And by Overstock.com. Search, shop, and save up to 70% at Overstock.com. Cowboys and Oklahoma tied at 7 after Texas got bumped off yesterday. We had a chance to ask Bob Stoops about what it means.
Well, it makes no difference in that now all of a sudden you play harder. You play as hard as you can. We have had a great way in the way we've prepared, the way we've gone about our business in every single game, and that doesn't change. Sure, there's a lot on the line for us, but again, that doesn't change our focus and what we need to do.
Yeah, and the focus is really what's going on the field and in between these players. And, Bill, this is so much an in-state or intra-state ball game, and some of these players are key in it. You take Nate Peterson for Oklahoma, and you take a guy like Reggie Smith from Oklahoma State, Nate Peterson, Oklahoma's Reggie Smith. Those two guys are from big programs here in-state, and they're playing on different football teams. But they're the kind of guys that really have grown up with this rivalry, and it means more to those kind of guys, I think, than anybody who's on that football field.
Yeah, guys from big-time high school programs that are going head-to-head against each other here, and this game is huge. Thompson on the pass looking for Kelly, and out of bounds near the 35-yard line. Van Zant was covering well on Malcolm Kelly. Kelly with 839 yards receiving, OU's best, 16.5 per grab, and held in check so far today, a sophomore out of Longview, Texas. Don't forget the trio coming up at halftime and sort things out on this great day of college football action.
Oklahoma going with a no huddle here on 3rd down.
Thompson's got Patrick beside him. Looks to the sideline and checking off here.
They're trying to read the defense. Looks like two deep zone coverage here for Oklahoma State. And see what Bobby Reed checks to.
3 receivers to Thompson's left. Johnson on the reception. Got the first down as he fought to the 45-yard line. And Quentin Moore makes the tackle.
And Quentin Moore was on the outside. Emmanuel Johnson steps up and goes right inside of him. When you have zone coverage, you're going to cover a spot, and that's what Quentin Moore does. He's a little bit to the outside, and what Manuel Johnson does, he takes a little bit of an inside track so that he's able to receive this football from the quarterback, Paul Thompson. Good job of getting the ball out there and just enough for a first down.
Thompson, 3 of 5 for 28 yards so far. 1st and 10 at the 45 of Oklahoma. High ball game. Thompson play action. Now rolls out. Kelly. Nice timing. Grabs it. Steps out of bounds. Kelly, known as great hands, and he learned it as a kid from his father, said, don't cradle that ball. Catch it out in front of you.
Well, watch what he does with his fingers here, Billy. Just throws puts his thumbs together and puts both fingers up, and watch that concentration, eyes on it, catches that football nice and easily, and he's a great target. 6'4", 220-pounder out there. You're a quarterback, and you got something like that to throw to. You're counting your blessings.
Father Moses told him at a young age, don't let that thing hit your pad. Don't let it come into your chest. Use those fingers, and boy, he has got excellent hands. 1st and 10 for Oklahoma at the 43-yard line of Oklahoma State. Brown, the ball carrier, and OSU is there. Levine, nice through to make the tackle. Other Big 12 action today. This is big for Oklahoma State fans. Missouri, in the final, has beaten Kansas 42-17. Thus, KU drops to 6-6 overall. And if you get 7 wins, which Oklahoma State would get with a victory here today, you are guaranteed a bowl berth. There are 9 teams that are bowl eligible in the Big 12, but only 8 bids guaranteed, and thus could be a tiebreaker for OSU today.
Well, Oklahoma State would definitely like to win that opportunity, get to that 7th win, but if they were to lose, then they'd fall into the mix there with Kansas, so there'd be some decisions to make.
Brown on the draw, and he slips down near the 39. And there is talk, and OSU will have an excellent chance of advancing regardless, as Fountain made the tackle there, because they travel well, is the bowl talk, Gary. And their Alamo Bowl people are here, and they're one of the groups that are interested that even with a 6-6, they might take them over someone else.
Yeah, this is some of the reasons why. With Big 12 has 9 teams with 6+ wins, so that 7th win could be key as far as definitely getting to a bowl.
Oklahoma State, Alamo maybe versus Iowa. Iowa's already in the Alamo Bowl. Of course, Independence is a possibility as well. It's 3rd down and 7. Thompson, just off the fingertips of Johnson. Moore covering on the play. Johnson, who was knocked out of the game against Texas Tech 2 weeks ago, coming back, looking pretty sharp here today so far. This one just out of his reach.
Yeah, it takes a long time to develop. You see him trying to hold the Cowboys out. The ball just a little bit overthrown here for Manuel Johnson, who gets a couple of fingertips on it. Good effort going up for the football, but just outside of his reach. More in coverage there for the Cowboys.
And Oklahoma will kick it away. Down at the 1-yard line for Oklahoma, as they take care of business on a 38-yard kick. Latimer down. Latimer.
You're watching FSN Southwest.
Mike Goldberg, DeMarco Farr, Billy Ray Smith getting set for the College Football Saturday halftime report. Little bitty game at the Coliseum tonight.
USC Notre Dame. I wonder who Michigan's rooting for. Show you how the Lucky Irish is going to run out tonight at the Coliseum.
Oh, yeah, we will see. It's all coming up on the halftime report. Back to you, Bill.
All right, thanks, guys. As right here, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State tied at 7 each. As Bob Stoops and crew look on. And there again is that OU punting game, as that time Nall, the short punter, if you will, nailed it down to the 1-yard line. And now Oklahoma State, first 2 possessions, well, 1 for a score and then 1 for a punt. And now inside, actually about the half-yard line, Reed taking the snap in the end zone.
Key thing here, Oklahoma, if they're going to get penetration on this Oklahoma State offensive line.
Sooners got a safety last week. Reed just trying to get a little breathing room.
Yeah,
a sneak out of the end zone.
Yeah, when you've got your feet as a quarterback in the end zone, when you take that snap, it's not comfortable for you to be doing that. And Bobby Reed just trying to inch forward about a yard or so. So we got a player down for Oklahoma State.
And Mike Gundy, don't you think, knowing, having played in this game, been assistant coach, now head coach, knows in this game, young quarterback, he's had a pretty good year. It's not bad if you have to kick it out of your end zone and hope your defense can hold them. But don't get a momentum changer here where you do give up a safety or something like that.
Yeah, and a critical injury here perhaps for Oklahoma State. David Washington, their starting center, who's down on the ground now. So that would bring in a freshman perhaps, Andrew Lewis, number 54. Here's their backup center. And I'd be surprised if they don't get on the sideline to get some snaps.
Yeah, that center position is double critical because of the snapping and the ball handling and all of that business.
Yeah, they're taking the snaps there on the sideline, getting him loose. So Andrew's going to have to go in there to man the troops, so to speak, as they take a look at David Washington on the field. It's sophomore who's done a pretty good job of anchoring that offensive line for the Cowboys this year.
Cowboys at 6-5, coming off a loss to Texas Tech, 30-24. OSU has shown the ability to rebound this season, though, because in all of their Big 12 losses, they've answered with a win the next week. They lost one to K-State, 31-27. They bounced back to beat KU. They lost in overtime to A&M. They rebound with a win over Nebraska. And then, of course, they lose at Texas, and they come back and they just hammer Baylor the next week. Those three losses I just mentioned, Gary, were all decided on the final play of the game as well. So this team's not far away from being 9-2.
You look what they've done in Big 12. It's loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, all the way down to the end to right here. If it holds the form, it's supposed to be a W. But still got plenty of football left to play here as they're helping David Washington off the field. Andrew Lewis coming into the ball game.
Sophomore from Guthrie, Oklahoma. And we'll take a look at, see if we can spot exactly what happened.
And just a big pile right here, and he's coming in there. That's just a big pile down there, guys.
Mass of humanity on top of him, and the leg got twisted some way, but knees weren't made for football, that's for sure. And his replacement will be Andrew Lewis, who's a 6'5", 290-pound redshirt freshman. And now, here you are, taking this snap, coming in. It's 2nd down and 8 from the 3-yard line. Savage in trouble. And he just does get out of the end zone. Almost like a back trying to dive in to score. He's diving to avoid giving up 2 points.
Well, I think when you kind of go sideways, anytime you're coming out of your end zone, that's dangerous. And you've got playmakers for Oklahoma coming across the line of scrimmage into the backfield. Boy, that could be a huge problem for you. You can get a play for a loss, or you don't want to go sideways. You want to go this way. Savage lucky to get out of the end zone there. And looks like it's going to be inside the 1-yard line. They got 1 foot from the Cowboy goal line.
All right, it is 3rd down and 10. And they've actually lost a foot on this first couple of plays. Bowman in motion. Savage the back. Play action.
Ball's gone!
And it is complete. Bowman. Reggie Smith popped him and he held on.
I think that he actually knocked that ball loose, Bill. I think it's going to be an incomplete pass here. Reggie Smith came up with a huge play from his free safety spot. Watch number 3 come into the picture here and go right up on that receiver. Darius Bowman does not control the football, and a head-to-head contact there. Hopefully Darius is fine, and he is. He gets up off the ground. Take a look at it here in super slow motion with X-Mo.
Yeah, actually looks like he did lose possession instant before the hit. He never really had possession, I should say. Smith is the deep man. Fodge at the construction site for the punt. Smith from the 48. Flag thrown. He is stopped at the 40-yard line of Oklahoma State. Flag on the play, a 48-yard punt by Matt Fodge. And Moore making the tackle, Quinton Moore for Oklahoma State.
Holding, number 24 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
You know, for Oklahoma State, there could be worse things than what happened on that possession, Gary. Walker's the one that committed the penalty. We'll talk about it when we come back on FSN and Kyocera's College Football Saturday. 7-7, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. Second quarter action in Stillwater, home of the Cowboys. After our game, our college football Saturday doubleheader will continue. Arizona State battles Arizona. Devils and Wildcats right here on FSN. And Bob Stoops' brother Mike Stoops, of course, the head coach at Arizona, trying to get that thing turned around. That will be interesting. And Jim Knox, there's another Stoops out there coaching.
Yes, exactly right, Bill. His name is Ron. He's the brother of Bob Stoops, and he's in the state playoffs at Youngstown Cardinal Moody. They won their state playoff game last night. Last week it was the trifecta. Bob won, Mike Stoops' team won, of course, over at Arizona, and then Ron's team won. Well, this week they're looking for the trifecta again. They won last night in the state playoffs. They continue. Of course, Bob Stoops hopes to continue today. And then right after this game, Mike Stoops with Arizona would like to pull off the trifecta. You'll have to only wait and see right here on FSN, guys.
All right, thanks, Jim.
Well, I know the Stoops mama is happy about all that. Getting the updates. Thank you, Jim.
Tell you what, talking about emotions within the family. Well, how'd we all do today? You know, there's phone lines burning up. It is 2nd down and 7 at the 50-yard line right now for Oklahoma. And Patrick, he zips down to the 42-yard line where Roderick Johnson makes the tackle. You might recall that Washington got hurt earlier for OSU on that offensive series. Here's Emily Jones with more.
Well, guys, the Oklahoma State trainers had him down on the table, working on his left knee. He got up off the table and put on his helmet, so look for David Washington to return on the next Cowboys offensive series.
All right, let's hope that's the case. Good news.
Great if he can do it.
Don't want anybody to get hurt, but especially on a Bedlam Saturday when you're an Oklahoma kid. 1st and 10 as he tests it there. Oklahoma trying to see if they can take leadership of this game. Brown, huge hole. 30, 25, and tripped up where he was to the house.
Well, kind of a misdirection here in the backfield. Paul Thompson looks like he's going to pitch it out to his right side, but he comes back to the opposite side to Chris Brown. He's at the tailback spot, and good blocking up front there. Trent Williams, look at the counter step there. Then he comes right back this way with him. Gets in the hole. Watch number 71 lead through there. That's Trent Williams. Going to help Chris Brown get on down the field. And when you got a big guy who can knock people to the ground like that, you're going to make a lot of yardage.
16 yards that time. He's 10 carries, 47 yards. Alan Patrick here, he's 11 for 64. So they're splitting it up to take over for Peterson today. And a 1st and 10 for Oklahoma. And Brown gets through a one tackler. Gets down to the 23. Marquez Fountain, junior out of Missouri City, Texas, Houston area, makes the stop.
Well, same play, opposite side. And trying to run it inside that time instead of off the tackle. Oklahoma doing a good job, as you talked about here, Bill, running the football, controlling it, controlling the clock, and got great field position here. They definitely want to take care of the football here. Remember, fumbleitis is one of the keys. Well, they've had fumbleitis all year. They don't want to put the ball on the ground here for these Cowboys.
There's the rushing story here today. Oklahoma leading the way. 2nd down and 9. And again, it is Patrick with Johnson making the tackle. And here they're running into the sun, because here you tell your backs go east-west. This field is one of the few in the country that is lined up east-west. You don't go north-south here if you want to score touchdowns. That sun can come into play, though, particularly in the passing situation.
Yeah, we saw Rod Johnson coming out of the ballgame again. He's injured. It looks like he's coming off gingerly. So Marcus Brown back in there for Oklahoma State, the middle linebacker spot.
3rd down and 6. Ball at the 21-yard line of Oklahoma State. Tie game. Flag thrown, or somebody called timeout.
It may have been timeout by Oklahoma. Weren't sure of their set there. The tight end's moving around.
Oklahoma.
Bob Stoops with a record of 84-18, and this is 8th year as the head coach of the Sooners. That was the timeout here, and 7-7 our score with 3:08 to go. Both teams scoring on their first possessions of the game. Savage a 5-yard run for OSU, and then Chris Brown a 3-yard run for Oklahoma. Let's take you back to the 88 Bedlam game here in Stillwater. Mike Gaddis, big-time playmaker for Oklahoma, setting things up early for the Sooners. But a fellow by the name of Barry Sanders ran for 215 yards that day, something that impressed the Heisman Trophy voters.
And that was really one of the games that pushed me, to the top of the Heisman race. A lot of people were not sure how I would perform against a top-ranked team and a top-ranked defense like the Oklahoma Sooners, and that was one of those games that did it for me.
Cowboys were behind by 3 points as quarterback Mike Gundy went to the air on 4th and 10. Brent Parker could not handle it in the end zone, and OSU a bitter defeat, losing 31-28 to the Sooners. 1988. Mike Gundy's got 3 wins in the Bedlam Series, but none as a player. They all came as an assistant coach under Bob Simmons as well as Les Miles, and he'd love to get one now in his 2nd year as head coach.
And talk about this rivalry since Oklahoma has been in the Big 12. There are 2 teams that have beaten the Oklahoma Sooners the most. One of them is Oklahoma State, beat them 5 times, and the other is the University of Texas. So Oklahoma State has had their days against the Sooners, and especially since the inception of the Big 12.
And that long drought that Mike was a part of as a player, but really turned around back at 95. 3rd down and 6 here at the 21-yard line. Big play for Oklahoma, and right up the middle is Alan Patrick, and Patrick takes it down near the 14. That'll move the chains for the Sooners. Johnson and Levine, the tacklers for Oklahoma State.
Explosive run there by Alan Patrick, coming right through the guard tackle area, and good job of blocking up front. And he just kind of lowered his head, and looks like he's healthy, Bill. That ankle, not a problem for him today.
And that Oklahoma rushing attack that is 3rd in the league at 184 a game. OSU's leading at 216. But Patrick, you see, very healthy today. 13 for 74. And a first down at the 19 of the Cowboys. Finley, the man in motion, resets. Patrick. To protect the football. Down to the 14, and Brown made the tackle. Barry Sanders, he got folks' attention coming out early. Remember, he played behind Thurman Thomas the year before. He had 4 300-yard rushing games that season, Gary.
Wow, that's impressive. When you get over 100 yards, it's impressive, but 4 300-yard games, I'm sure the defensive coordinators that were watching him on tape throughout that season were like, what in the world are we getting ourselves into? Barry Sanders, I'll tell you, he's one of the best, if not the best of all time.
Yeah, you can argue that point. Unbelievable. 2nd down and 11 from the 15. And again, nothing doing this time as Johnson makes the tackle on Alan Patrick. You see Oklahoma doing a good job of ball security, as the coaches preach. That's been a driving force because they turned it over 5 times last week, even though they won.
Yeah, they need to hold on to that football. We talk about that. You see Rod Johnson's numbers on the year. He's back into football game, kind of nursing an early ball game injury, but kind of splitting time in there with Marcus Brown at that Mike linebacker spot. So 3rd down here and long here. Still can get a first down, though, inside the 5-yard line. And take a look at Oklahoma's fumbles on the season, 21. That's the worst in Division I college football.
Bob Stoops said the only thing he can think is, because they emphasize it so much, is tell his young players they all want to do so well to make the big play. Sometimes you have to know when to sacrifice a little bit of that extra effort and reaching to just make sure that you guarantee that you keep possession of the football. Kelly had an example last week when he had over a 50-yard possession and ended up fumbling it away as he was trying to get in the end zone. And here we are with a timeout, and it's 7-7. And another thing about this Oklahoma team, no one thought when Red Bomar was dismissed from the team that Oklahoma would have a shot realistically at the Big 12 championship, which they do today, except for this man, Bob Stoops, when he said, hey, we move on. Paul Thompson's come back. Well, how's he done, Gary?
Well, more importantly, you want to get better at the quarterback position than what Red Bomar did in the previous year, and they certainly have done that with Paul Thompson. 9-2 on the year, over 60% completions, and his touchdown interception ratio is pretty good. And Paul Thompson is more than anything, Bill, a leader on that football team, and his unselfish attitude of going to play quarterback for him has really been key for them this season.
Bob Stoops said, if we don't win this year, it won't be because of our quarterback play. And Thompson talked about him and the presence that he has tried to have with this football team.
I'm definitely one of probably more relaxed guys on the team. I'm not sure if the coaches, like that as much, because out on the field, I got, there's stuff going on, people yelling, and I'm just kind of chilled, relaxed, don't really let too much affect me.
I think they like it very much. He is the calm in that storm, isn't he?
He definitely is calm out there. He makes effective decisions and does a good job running the football when he decides to run, and also just kind of keeps everything just moving north and south, and that's what you want from the quarterback.
He's gained 178 yards, scored twice on the ground. He's thrown for 17 TDs and just had 7 picked off. Big 3rd and 10 coming up here for the Sooners. Thompson Touchdown, Oklahoma, as he hits Joaquin Iglesias. Iglesias, a sophomore from Killeen, Texas, on the TD reception.
Well, they try to blitz the Sooners here on this play, Bill. Oklahoma State just gets there a little bit too late, and a great block in the backfield allowed Paul Thompson to throw it out to Joaquin Iglesias on the outside. Watch Chris Patrick here come across and make the late block. Just got a hand on him, not able to get Paul Thompson in the great athletic play there by Iglesias in the end zone. Nice little pump fake, and the ball gets out there nicely. Paul Thompson's got a good touch on the football.
Iglesias, a 13-yard reception for the TD. Remember, he returned that kick for a touchdown last week after the safety down there in Waco against Baylor. Hartley for the point after, and off the...
Off the post, it's definitely a dead ball.
I thought that ball went off the upright.
Yes.
And the scramble for it, maybe one of the players that thought it had hit another player, but that was not the case. It was.
Now the official should have just whistled that dead as soon as it hit the post, and I'm surprised that none of them did.
Hartley's first miss this season. Last year he was 37 of 38. He's now 40 of 41 this year. And let's go back, though, to take a look at the play that has given Oklahoma the lead.
Well, good job here by Iglesias, just finding the football. Quentin Moore on the outside. He doesn't take the same path that Joaquin does. He goes up nicely forward, and good concentration. If you're a young receiver watching Joaquin do what he did there, put his eyes, his chin actually followed him all the way to the football. That's how you know you have a concentration on making that catch.
And as a result, we have a 13-7 game in favor of Oklahoma. Tonight, ready for some hoops. Pac-10 basketball will tip off on FSN. The Iowa Hawkeyes will visit Arizona State, looking to eclipse the Sun Devils in an early season showdown. Coverage begins tonight, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. That's right here on FSN. All right, how do the Cowboys of Mike Gundy answer now that Oklahoma is on top?
Now they got just over a minute to go here. The clock is going to start as the Sooners kick it off here to the Cowboys. So I think depending upon how they run this back, what kind of field position is going to determine how aggressive Mike Gundy is going to be here in the last minute of this half.
Devereaux and Jones are deep as Hartley will boot it off. Jones, he going to come out? No, Devereaux will stay right there. They'll take it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And we'll get a good indication here from Mike Gundy on what he plans to do as they set this ball and start the clock. Coming up at halftime, Mike Goldberg and Billy Ray and Marco Farr. They'll have all kinds of opinions and comments. We got BCS, you got championship games coming up. Oklahoma putting everything in limbo here in the Big 12 after what happened yesterday with Texas and Texas A&M. Longhorns winning in Austin against Texas. 1st and 10 at the 20 for Oklahoma State. Quarterback Bobby Reed. Savage the running back with him, and he gives it to it. And Savage, 27. And no timeout called, so the Cowboys maintain possession here. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Whether you order a big screen TV or a comfy leather chair, at all shops for just $2.95. Shop and save at Overstock.com.
Good news here for Oklahoma State. David Washington, the center, number 63, back in the ball game here. So took care of him on the sidelines, and he's back out there with Bobby Reed.
2nd down and 4. Reed.
Ball's gone.
And he completes it to Tostin. And he is stopped at the 28-yard line. Holmes and Alexander make the tackle, and that may be, and it will be, the final play of the first half. Mike Gundy saying, no need to get too tricky here, maybe turn it over, give them possible 2-touchdown lead.
No, don't want to make a mistake, no doubt about that. And I think it was a pretty good half, Bill, for both football teams. You had a good opening drive for both teams, but Oklahoma with the late drive there to get the lead.
And Bob Stoops standing by with our Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Bill. Coach, you got to be pleased. You said a key in this game, balance. You score on the running game, you score in the passing game. You're doing a nice job running the football.
We are. I feel good about that. We're, throwing, running. We're picking up some third downs. defensively, we settled in after the first drive and are playing well right now, too.
Yeah, defense limiting Oklahoma State to less than 50 yards on the ground. You can't say enough about the D.
Well, that's a big factor in this game. We've got to be able to stop their run game.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Thanks to Coach Stoops. We'll hear from Mike Gundy later on. Halftime score, OSU on the short side. Let's join Mike Goldberg.
We are in Stillwater, Oklahoma. It's the best.
Welcome back to Kyocera College Football Saturday in Stillwater. Boone Pickens Stadium, the site. Oklahoma the leader, 13-7 at the half over the homestanding OSU Cowboys. Hi, everyone. Bill Lane, Gary Reasons with you here up top. Oklahoma State coaches said they had to stop OU's running game. They have not done that today.
No, Oklahoma's done a good job running the football. A couple of guys came in here. Alan Patrick, we didn't know he would play, but he has run extremely well, and also Chris Brown for Oklahoma. And so take a look here in this first half. Alan Patrick gets the early carry, and he just burst through for a large gain for Oklahoma, running the football, showing that he is healthy and able to play. And then you take a look at Chris Brown, who also bursts as well. So Oklahoma getting a 1-2 punch here. They're controlling this game on the ground, Bill. Not a big offensive explosion here for either team. We'll take a look at the Honda first half stats, and overall the time of possession squarely in favor of OU. They've commanded the clock and they've been able to run the football. And Oklahoma State, after an early opening first drive, they have not had any offense, so to speak of. Only 19 yards after that initial opening drive. So right now it looks like Oklahoma State needs to make some adjustments, perhaps get back to what they did early in this ball game to make this a pretty tight ball game once again.
All right, thank you, Gary. Let's send it down to Emily Jones.
Guys, I spoke with Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy on his way out of the locker room. He said defensively the adjustments are simple, just stop the run. As for his offense, he said OU is not letting them go down the field. They are going to have to mix things up and go with some misdirection on the offensive side of the ball. As for this first series of the second half with OU having the ball, he said his message to his defense was simple: hit them hard.
All right, thank you. And Oklahoma will get the football to start the second half. And Reggie Smith stepped right in front of Iglesias to take that one. I don't know if that was by design, but now he turns it upfield, 25-30. And he is knocked out of bounds on the OU sideline as Grant Jones stopped the play after a 32-yard return for Oklahoma.
Well, this is a game, Bill, that I think that field position is key. You see Reggie Smith taking it in front of Iglesias, and he gets around the edge here. He's got explosive kick return ability. He's a punt returner as well for the Sooners, and giving him good field position here to start up near the 35-yard line. So precious yards in the kick return game, and we haven't seen Oklahoma State really take advantage of their kick return game, which is one of the best in the country. And first half possessions here for Oklahoma. You see the early touchdown and then a couple of punts, and then again a nice closing drive, but that one missed extra point by Garrett Hardy that went off the upright leaves it at 13 points instead of the 14.
And on a 1st and 10, right up the middle, Alan Patrick to the 20. He will score. No flags. Touchdown Sooners. That same burst of speed to open the game for Oklahoma. He does it here for 6.
Oklahoma State chooses to crowd the line of scrimmage with all of their defensive players, and this is what happens. It's kind of like a short yardage play. Just busts through there. There's nobody in the secondary. Breaks one tackle at the line of scrimmage, and Alan Patrick outruns the rest of the Cowboys en route to a first play score here for Oklahoma.
65 yards for Alan Patrick on the TD run, and Patrick, just like that, people hadn't settled into their seats to start the second half. Now Hartley, who had his first miss earlier today, comes on for the point after and splits the uprights here. And Oklahoma, thunderbolt opening to the second half of Bedlam football here in Stillwater. Stay with us on FSN. Patrick's 65-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage. Oklahoma. College Football Saturday on FSN is presented by Kyocera, the new value frontier. And brought to you in part by Honda Motorcycles, performance first. By Dr. Pepper, 23 flavors that add up to one bold taste. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it. And by Overstock.com, your online source for savings on everything from video games to big screen TVs. Well, this came big screen into your living room. with Oklahoma's Alan Patrick, the longest run of the season for the Sooners.
You hold it right there. You'll see there's no secondary person. He's one to the left here. Good blocking that hole, and he just takes it right to the house. Outruns Donovan Woods, the free safety, who cannot get over to touch Alan Patrick. Great job of blocking at the line of scrimmage as well here. You see the blocking inside there, and a missed tackle here by Alex Odiari, the linebacker, coming across. Not going to arm tackle Alan Patrick there in the hole, and good job of blocking up front by the Sooner offensive line.
The previous longest run was Adrian Peterson's 53-yard run against Iowa State, where he suffered the broken collarbone. And Patrick today hits a 65-yard home run here. And the Cowboys now find themselves trailing 20-7 as they take over 1st and 10 from the 20. What are they going to do to get back in this, Gary?
Well, Oklahoma State, they had a great opening drive. They used a little bit of misdirection. They changed up what they were doing. They were running the football. They had the passing game working, short passes outside. They got Darius Bowman into the action. They have not gotten him into the action at all in the second quarter. You need to get back the ball in the hands of your playmakers.
And flags thrown here before they get underway.
False start, 72 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Coach Seifried, the right guard there for Oklahoma State. The big fellows there, they kind of get caught in there. Very easy to see.
Bowman had 2 receptions for 27 yards in the first half. Let's see what they do now after the penalty. And it's 1st and 15. Handoff, and Savage is tripped up near the 12 to 17-yard line. Now, Oklahoma State's first possession, Gary just mentioned, yeah, they took it the length of the field and scored a touchdown, and then 3 punts, and finally just 2 plays where they ran it out before the half.
You look at the 6 and 5 yards there. That's on 2 drives, and then to end the half, just another 10 yards. So really, since the initial drive, only 11 yards of offense for Oklahoma State. They were somewhat even meaningful trying to work towards a first down.
This OU defense living up to the billing after that first possession. Savage breaks through here, and he's out near the 24 before C.J. Ayu makes the tackle there, and it'll be 3rd and long coming up. Now, the first half leaders for OSU, you see Reed's only thrown it 6 times, hasn't made a mistake there. Savage and Bowman.
Just going to get more of that. They only had 6 first downs in the entire first half, so haven't had a lot of opportunities. Saw the time of possession, 18 minutes to only 12 for the Cowboys in that first half. They've got to make first downs and be able to get their playmakers the football.
Yeah, got to get a little rhythm going. 3rd and 6. Reed flushed out of the pocket, finds a man, and let's see where they spot the football, because Latimer made the tackle. I think he's going to get the first down here. But that is DeJuan Woods that is hurt.
Now, DeJuan Woods made the catch. I thought he was beyond the yard marker for the first down there, and he looks like he retreated somewhat, and then they made the tackle. I think they marked the ball up there, still gave enough yardage for the first down at the 30-yard line. But, well, this will be a tough blow here for Oklahoma State to have anything go wrong with DeJuan Woods, the number 2 receiver here on this football team.
Yeah, and it's taken in some aspects a back seat, if you will, to Bowman. Even though he has scored 4 touchdowns, they have made quite a duo as far as a receiving core. And let's revisit our Mitsubishi Motors keys to the game for OSU as they attend to Woods.
Yeah, I talked about them getting out early. They did just that, but they didn't sustain, they didn't maintain that offensive balance that they like to have, and didn't get their playmakers the football and return the dominance in the return game. They haven't had the opportunities except for the kickoff return yardage, and defensively they have got to be relentless. They've got to go to the ball carrier. They've just gotten outmanned, I think, up front on a couple of runs there. Oklahoma State not being able to hold out that rushing attack for the Sooners.
Woods' 3rd reception for 31 yards. Let's go down to Emily Jones.
Now, with the addition of Darius Bowman to the Oklahoma State offense, DeJuan Woods' numbers are down. He averaged a little over 80 yards per game last year. This season, he's under 50 yards per game. However, when you talk to Mike Gundy about the play of his wide receiver, he can't stop talking about how improved he is. He says if you think about it, there are about 70 offensive plays you run in a game. If a receiver has 7 catches, it's considered a good day. What does he do those other 63 plays? Well, he said what DeJuan Woods is doing those other 63 plays is blocking, and he's very impressed with it.
Something he really improved in. NFL scouts have also noticed that.
Yeah, if you've got a big guy outside who can catch the football and also block, that's going to turn some heads because guess what? The running game, it's going to take big blocks by your receivers to make those explosive runs, and Dewan Woods has certainly added that back in the ball game here now for Oklahoma State.
Zach Robinson placing Reed at the QB position, and he comes right over the middle. That is Bowman, and he's got a first down. So after Savage's wild run that didn't get him much, they come back and move the chains. Reggie Smith makes the tackle on the receiver Bowman.
And I wonder what they're going to do here, whether they're going to keep Zach Robinson out there back to Bobby Reed. They're choosing a good read back in there, but Zach Robinson, good command of the pocket, a good throw to Darius Bowman coming across the middle on a square end route. So throwing the football here early with some success.
Robinson played in the Baylor game and in the Tech game, and they've used him in this situation. Pendleton and Latimer make the stop here.
Well, Bill, this is a number 10 defense in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners, and they have really stepped up their game since early in the season after the Oregon game. Really didn't play very well in the first couple weeks of the season, but since that time, Brent Venables and Bobby Jack Wright, the two co-coordinators for the defense for the Sooners, have really turned this group around. They've solidified some spots, and they've done a great job, allowing only 265 yards a ball game. That is tops in the Big 12 and number 6 in the country.
2nd and 11. Robinson trying to deliver, and he does. And Woods breaks a tackle. He's in the 20, the 15, the 10. He's bumped out of bounds on the play by Lindy Holmes, stopping a touchdown. Robinson delivers to Dewan Woods, the senior out of Oklahoma City Millwood, for 54 yards and a 1st and goal.
Well, good job here running on the outside after the catch. Nick Harris, the nickelback, not able to make the tackle there on Dewan Woods, who's a big, strong receiver. Good job by Lindy Holmes of coming in and knocking Woods out of bounds. Otherwise, it's an easy touchdown, and that's what you want from the big play receivers outside. You want to be able to run after the catch. Great job by Dewan Woods.
Well, you mentioned the OU defensive numbers. Oklahoma State's number 14 total offense team in the nation, number 7 scoring offense, and they haven't gotten it going until right now here since that opening possession. Savage trying to push it in. Flag is thrown as he got down near the 2, and Corey Bennett making the stop for the Sooners.
Yeah, I think the Oklahoma Sooners are saying that the Cowboys jump. One of the offensive linemen there got out of their stance early, and there is a flag here on the near sideline. They're sorting it out for us.
Offside, 99 defense, half the distance, first down.
C.J. Ayu looked like he saw something inside there, but probably wasn't there. He thought somebody moved, and he actually stepped in the neutral zone to point it out. We'll take a look at C.J. here. He's going to be on the end of the line of scrimmage here. Going to point in here and watch him. He sees somebody move, but he's in the neutral zone himself, and the ball is snapped, and hence the penalty.
So, Oklahoma State, 1st and goal. Quarterback Reed hands it off. Savage diving. No signal yet.
Now somehow Reggie Smith came around the edge there, got him at the legs behind the line of scrimmage. Number 3, the safety, free safety for Oklahoma, got in the backfield of the Cowboys. And Sooners are thinking they've got the football, but I think he's down inside the 1-yard line. They've got a spot there just short of the goal line.
That is Larry Birdseye carrying the football, saying, doesn't that count for something?
Well, take a look at Reggie Smith there, who makes the tackle from the outside, grabs him by his legs and pulls him back, and then you have Latimer making the contact there, not allowing him, that's Rufus Alexander making the hit there, not allowing him to get to the end zone. So good job by the Sooners that time. Let's see what happens here.
They come out of the huddle quickly. Savage, they fake to him, and Reed scampers in untouched. Bobby Reed and Boone Pickens says, that's what I like to see here at Boone Pickens Stadium, as the Cowboys, like the opening drive of the first half, they score.
Well, they spread the ball around, moved it offensively, throwing the football to the outside, throwing it to the receivers in the middle of Darius Bowman, then the big play by Dewan Woods, and then you cap it off here with a run play with a playmaker in his own, Bobby Reed, a dual threat quarterback. First chance to see him run, and just a naked bootleg there, he just races to the end zone.
And for the point after, it'll be Ricks. Came in 40 of 42. Hit the first one. And it is good. So, Cowboys get their second TD. Boone Pickens liking what he sees here as OSU and OU. It is Bedlam. And it all adds up to Bedlam at Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma. 15th ranked Oklahoma needing a win to get to the Big 12 title game. And Reed bouncing back with a 1-yard run to cap off the Dodge scoring drive. He included a 54-yard pass to DeJuan Woods to set him up. Here is Iglesias on the return at 25 and out near the 27-yard line. And let's go down to Emily Jones with Boone Pickens.
That's right, guys. The guy this stadium is named after, Boone Pickens, here with me. And you were celebrating a little bit on that last touchdown.
Sure I was. We're right back in this game.
Is there any bigger Oklahoma State fan than you?
No, I'm number one.
I would think your checkbook says that. Just talk about the donations you made. That big hole over there in the north end of the end zone has a lot to do with you. How are things going? How is the program progressing since you've made that large donation?
I think great. We picked up a lot of fans. I think everybody sees that it's a new day at Oklahoma State. And, I was talking to Joe Castiglione before the game and all, and they know we're serious up here. I mean, we are serious people.
And you've said that you don't just want this team to be competitive. You want them to be competitive for championships. And these facilities, you feel like will help them get there.
Exactly. And, we're seeing a lot different brand of football here at Oklahoma State this year than we've had in the past. I think everybody sees it. Everybody feels it.
Well, Mike Gundy said he didn't know what Oklahoma State football coaches did before you. How do you feel like he's doing, and where do you think this program's headed?
Oh, really? I mean, you can see it this year. I mean, next year will be better. We open against Georgia next year, and that's sending a message that we're ready to play big-time football.
All right, thanks in large part to you, Mr. Pickens. I sure do appreciate your time, guys.
All right, thank you, Emily, and thanks again to Boone Pickens. Mike Gundy in the heat of this Bedlam battle here as trying to get that defense to come up with a huge third down stop. It's 3rd and 1 for the Sooners.
Big down here for the Cowboys. Came out and had a great offensive drive. Can their defense answer as well?
Brown, the ball carrier, and he burst through. That'll keep possession for Oklahoma. Alan Patrick's big TD run to start this second half, and Patrick is at 18 carries for 148 yards. Brown is just over 50 yards. So the two-pronged attack is working well for Oklahoma. They own a 20-14 lead.
Well, they've been able to run the ball against this Cowboy defense today, and they've done it largely in part to good blocking up front and good shifty running there. Also the explosiveness. Alan Patrick, his legs are fresh, number 23 for the Sooners, and there's no doubt that he's going to get some more carries in this ball game. Still going with Chris Brown at the tailback spot right now.
1st and 10 at the 38 for Oklahoma now. Thompson play action, and he completes this one out to the 50 as Dane Zaslaw, junior from Edmond, getting just his 5th catch of the year. And Donovan Woods makes a defensive play. Boone Pickens was talking about facilities giving this team more than a chance, and that big hole that we saw in the end zone, we'll talk about here in just a second.
Dane Zaslaw comes out of the backfield, play action pass, and a quick easy throw by Paul Thompson out there. And not something that the Sooners do a lot in their offense, so kind of a change up here offensively. You take a look at the construction work here on the west end zone of this complex.
When it's completed, they'll hold 60,000, and he mentioned they open against Georgia next year. That's in Athens. Then they'll open up in 09 against Georgia here when everything is done with the 3 phases here at Boone Pickens Stadium. Bond makes the tackle there on the ball carrier Chris Brown as he takes it to the 40-yard line. And really,
it's hard to tell you all this. There's a lot of earth that's been moved.
And behind those stands on the other side is the OSU Athletic Village that is going to be going in soon. And that is what it's going to look like when it's all done. And this whole building here that Gary just circled will actually have about the same square footage as Gallagher Drive Arena at the other end. Unbelievable.
And we walked around in this building too, and I tell you, it is first class.
There's nothing left undone. 2nd down and 5 for Oklahoma here. Big series for the Cowboy defense as they answer here. Brown is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Johnson and Fountain make the tackle.
Yeah, but you watch Rod Johnson, the middle linebacker. He's the one that steps up and fills the hole there. That's what you want from the middle linebacker. On these counter plays where you pull a lineman around, step up into the hole. Number 2, Rod Johnson, doing a good job. Looked like early in that first half, he kind of had a bum ankle and had to take himself out of the game for a couple of plays, but looks like at halftime they got him all taped back up and he's ready to go.
OU on third down, 8 of 10 today. And that's as much as anything the difference in this ball game is they have continued to move the chains and maintain possession. And you worry about Oklahoma State's wear-out factor. 3rd and 5 here. Thompson completes it to Johnson. He's got the first down as he steps out of bounds at the 32-yard line of Oklahoma State. Anderson covering.
Just way too much cushion on the outside from Oklahoma State. Manuel Johnson just goes down about 12 yards and just turns around and stands there. There's not a Cowboy within about 7 or 8 yards of when Paul Thompson decides to throw the football out there. Good decision making by him, finding an open receiver. And Mike Gundy, he's trying to get his troops fired up. He knows what's at stake here. A chance for them to go to a bowl game, perhaps. They need their 7th win to guarantee a bowl victory for the Cowboys, and the Sooners, no doubt about it, they want to win the Big 12 South with the victory here today.
Thompson gives the handoff here, and Patrick is off rumbling again, and Patrick and Brown, what a duo. Woods making the tackle.
Well, Alan Patrick, nobody talks about how physical he is as a running back, but this shows you that he has the ability to be somewhat like Adrian Peterson. He'll lower his head and bring on contact, breaking the tackle of a middle linebacker, Rod Johnson, who goes about 250 pounds. Looks like he might win that battle. A good job that time by Alan Patrick, and Bob Stoops giving him a little congratulations when he comes to the sideline.
Junior out of Conway, South Carolina, who last year they moved him from the defensive side in the early part of 05. Ran for 136 yards, had a couple of scores, had 4 receptions. And then this year, when Peterson goes down, Patrick steps in. And man, as he responded, and now coming off the ankle sprain, he's been great here today. This is Brown. And Brown takes it down near the 12-yard line. Lacey and Marcus Brown make the tackle for OSU, and this is behind a young offensive line as well.
Well, Trent Williams, number 71, is doing a great job. He's going to block Darnell Smith. Watch this block as it unfolds. Darnell Smith has to get off the block. He just can't do it, and that's going to allow Chris Brown to get around the edge here. Good blocking on the edge, and that way Chris Brown comes up and makes some yardage. So this offensive line for Oklahoma, Trent Williams has had a nice day, and everyone across the board there giving some holes for these running backs from Oklahoma.
Now, Trent Williams, he's a true freshman from Longview, Texas. 2nd and 7 for the Sooners. And again, Brown breaking tackles, almost dives in and falls down near the 1-yard line before Lacey finally brought him to a halt.
Well, when you come up and make a tackle here, Oklahoma State's Patrick Levine, number 4, if you just watch him get into the hole, he's going to step up there and watch he's going to miss. Whoop, right there. He doesn't get anything. He doesn't get anything on Chris Brown because Chris Brown has patience with his footwork. Patrick Levine overextended that time, not able to make the tackle, and the ball is now at the 1-yard line.
Chatham and Lawson Kennedy come in for OSU now in the goal line situation defensively. And it's 1st and goal from the 1, and what a drive for OU to answer after OSU got everybody jacked up with their touchdown. Brown, touchdown Oklahoma, and the Sooners tack on 6 more. They take their 2nd possession, a little bit more traditional length of the field after Patrick on the opening possession with 65 yards for a score.
Well, guess where they go again? Right behind that 6'5", 321-pounded freshman 71 Trent Williams on the right side, and Chris Brown's going to like what he sees on the tape here. Watch the big fella get up there and block and open the hole here on the offensive side, and they just clear out that sideline. Zaslaw makes a good block on the outside, number 45, and scoots right into the end zone.
Well, the point after it is Hartley. And it is good. So Oklahoma up by 13 now. Chris Brown gets his 2nd TD of the afternoon, and the Sooners lead it 27-14. Last year in Norman, Oklahoma running back Adrian Peterson ran wild, 237 yards, including a school record 210 in the second half alone. He led the Sooners to a thumping of the Cowboys, 42-14. His 2 touchdown runs are the biggest length, 84 and 71 yards for Adrian Peterson. And he enters today needing 151 yards rushing to become the all-time leading rusher in Oklahoma history. Sidelined again, they check for the collarbone, unable to go today. Well, now you look ahead for Oklahoma. If they win, there is next week in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, we talked to Bob Stoops about it, and still no word there. They'll do another evaluation on Adrian on Sunday or Monday to determine if they play in the Big 12 championship game, if he'd be available to them for perhaps playing that football game.
Hartley's kick goes out of the end zone. Cowboys 1st and 10 from the 20. And Peterson is currently number 4 on the OU all-time rushing charts behind Sims, Washington, Owens at 3,968.
Well, Bill, you talked 151 yards, and I think that's something that Adrian Peterson would like to have. If he's able to play, he's going to play. I think he's too much of a competitor to not play in a football game if he's given the green light.
Yeah, it will be interesting. And after this game, if Oklahoma wins, all the attention will go to the doctors on Sunday and Monday. And Bob Stoops says that's just take it a week at a time. You see what happens.
But you look at what these two running backs have done, Chris Brown and Alan Patrick. Alan Patrick, 165 yards rushing today. Chris Brown, not so bad either, 17 carries, 73 yards. So getting the ball moving north and south on the ground are the Sooners.
And the Pokes better at least move the ball a little bit, give that defense a little bit of a breather here, huh?
They've got to stay on the field. They've got to sustain some drives, and they've got to keep this balance here. They've got to throw the ball around a little more effectively than they did in that second quarter.
1st and 10 from the 20. Bobby Reed. Incomplete. Nearly picked off by Nick Harris, who reached in to slap it away. Let's go down to Jim Knox.
All right, Bill. I've been behind the Oklahoma bench all game long, and I tell you what, Adrian Peterson has turned into one heck of not only a coach, but a cheerleader. Chris Brown scores a touchdown. He's back there. He's the first one to congratulate him, as well as Alan Patrick. Then he knows where the bread and butter is. Goes to the offensive line. Messner, Robinson, Cooper, Walker, Williams. Gives them all high fives on that bench. Adrian Peterson, you guys said it. If healthy, he will definitely come back. They'll know that result probably next Monday or Tuesday. If they win this game, they'll play in the Big 12 championship game. They'll look at those x-rays again, and they'll diagnose it right there on the spot.
Yeah, and he's staying involved in the football, so to speak, also. He's going to meetings, going to those things. He's involved in this aspect of it, and he's actually got a wristband on. He's got those plays right there, so he knows what the game plan is, and Adrian Peterson perhaps has a chance to step out there. Couldn't be a lack of knowledge or knowing what's going on in the system.
And you've been doing all the cardio work and riding the bike and doing those kind of things. He's always chiseled and in great shape as far as conditioning is concerned. Oklahoma State says, well, don't just say this thing's over yet. We still got plenty of time. Clock counting here, third quarter. 3rd and 3, though. Obviously a big play coming up for the Pokes. Reed delivers on the completion to the 35 and still breaking tackles. Pettigrew, the tight end, brought down by Harris. Brandon Pettigrew, the sophomore from Tyler, Texas, had a couple of scores against Baylor. Did not catch any balls last week against Texas Tech.
Well, he's a big target, 6'5", tight end. Going to come open to the left side here for Bobby Reed. He works away from the middle linebacker. Good job of getting open there. Zach Latimer not able to get over there to cover him, so the big tight end gets a first down here for Oklahoma State.
Pettigrew's first reception today for 19 yards out of Tyler Lee.
The number 3 receiver on this football team, the tight end.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line now. Woods wide left. Bowman goes in motion behind the quarterback Reed. Cowboys. Good protection for Reed, and he delivers to Bowman. He is upended inside the 40-yard line by Nick Harris, and the Cowboys starting to show a little rhythm with back-to-back drives here.
Well, the protection has been decent enough to where Bobby Reed's able to move around in the pocket. He's not going to have any pressure in front of his face. He kind of rolls to his right to give him a couple extra yardage there. Nobody around him there. He's watching his receivers down the field. He finds Bowman, but he also had his big tight end Pettigrew in the same area. He could have thrown either one up.
Picks up 17, and it's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line of the Sooners. Little razzle-dazzle. They're looking to throw, and it is complete. Bowman at the 25-yard line as the handoff, and then the pass from Newton.
Well, I think the Sooners actually did a good job of playing the deep route here, but they didn't take care of the intermediate route, which is what Adarius Bowman is. You see the receiver going down deep. That's DeJuan Woods. And coming across the field, Adarius Bowman at about 12 yards. Just steps out of bounds. Little razzle-dazzle working for Mike Gundy.
Yeah, Seth Newton makes the pass play. Only a wide receiver. 1st and 10 at the 25 now. This is Robinson. He's in trouble, and he unloads, and it is picked off a drop. Burdine dropping in coverage, and Harris was the man that came on and provided the pressure on Robinson.
Well, this was not a strong throw at all by Zach Robinson. He's lucky this ball is not intercepted. It should have been by Larry Burdine on the outside. He drops out. It's a zone blitz, so Burdine, the defensive end, gets back in coverage there on the right side. A little pressure from the left side. You see Nick Harris trying to get to him before he throws the football, and almost an interception by Larry Burdine.
2nd and 10 at the 25 for Oklahoma State. 2:25 to go in the third quarter. Oklahoma with a 13-point lead. Savage in there, and the handoff here. Both teams trying to do their best to protect the footballs. He takes it down to the 21-yard line, and Burdine and Granger make the tackle. DeMarcus is a redshirt freshman from Dallas. The first down marker is brought to you by Overstock.com with live customer service and online price guarantee. Shopping online has never been easier. Overstock.com. 3rd and 6 now for the Pokes.
This Sooner defense has been stingy rushing the football. Looks like for Oklahoma State they need to be moving the ball through the air if that's what's working for them.
You don't get it here. You're talking about 38-yard field goal or so. 3rd and 6 of the 21. Reed on the option. Reed. And he moves inside the 15, and that will move the chains one more time. Baker and Harris, the tacklers for the Sooners.
Well, Nick Harris comes up, puts a shot on Bobby Reed. Looks like his left shoulder may be a little bit dinged on that, maybe a stinger. Zach Robinson going to come in for him now, but on the option play here, Bobby Reed elected not to pitch the ball. He cuts up inside, and watch the contact here. Nick Harris, bingo, right on that left shoulder as he's going down.
So Zach Robinson comes in here.
Have a good look at it there. Super X-Mode slow motion.
Robinson in trouble, falls to the turf at the 19-yard line, where Pendleton will be credited for the stop. Well, the junior from Sapulpa, Oklahoma, part of our FSN Big 12 Awards we've been handing out, co-inspirational players of the year.
Bobby Reed trying to shake that off there. It's his left shoulder. He popped down on the ground, and there was square contact right on top of the shoulder. And trainers are taking a look at Bobby Reed.
Parks goes wide right with Bowman for OSU on a 2nd and 15 now from the 19. Flag thrown as Pettigrew comes in motion behind the line. Hilliard may have moved the lineman. I think that's the case. Corey, a senior from New Orleans.
False start, 75 in the offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Second team all-conference pick from a year ago, is one of the anchors on that line.
We'll take a look at Corey there. Yeah, a little bit of movement there early, and a lot of officials there on the line for the Sooners. A couple of guys pointed it out.
Extra referees on every play. Now, Oklahoma, first time penalty's been a factor. 2nd and 20. Ball moved back to the 24-yard line. Pettigrew resets on the right. Robinson, the quarterback. And he's got Pettigrew. 15, breaks a tackle. Still on his feet, powering. Almost motors into the end zone. What a play. Smith and Carter finally bring down Brandon Pettigrew.
Well, this is a physical, intimidating football game, and I tell you, Brandon Pettigrew says, hey, you give me the football, I'm going to make something happen with it. Watch him here just destroy the Sooners tacklers. No chance for Marcus Walker to grab him low. Nick Harris misses Reggie Smith. He's just having to lasso him, get on top to try to get him down.
Is that the epitome of what Mike Gundy was telling us about this Bedlam game? Comes down to one thing, toughness. 1st and goal to go from the 2. Robinson in the end zone. Pettigrew couldn't hang on the 2nd attempt. Harris there. OSU again quickly out of the huddle.
Yeah, they're trying to get the line of scrimmage very quickly, not allow Oklahoma to adjust here. They go a little unbalanced, but they're going to try to get their tight end right there. Pettigrew back to the back of the end zone. A great break by Nick Harris to knock away that football.
Well, you got to like the call, though, Gary, because last time Reed comes up, fakes everybody, and scoots into the end zone. This time Robinson going with the pass as that concludes the third quarter. They're checking to make sure the time had expired. And we've got an official word. It is over. The fourth quarter coming up in Bedlam football. End of the third with Oklahoma with a 27-10 14 lead, and OSU knocking on the door. You're watching Big 12 football presented by Kyocera on FSN. Oklahoma with a 27-14 lead over Oklahoma State. After our game, college football Saturday doubleheader will continue. We'll head to Arizona for Arizona State and Arizona right here only on FSN. Rivalry Saturday. Here we have got Bedlam in Oklahoma. And our TiVo game summary, Patrick about to set a best for him personal. He's at 165 yards rushing. Cowboys passing has brought them back 205 for the day. The offense is getting it going after the defenses were pretty much in control the first half. Second and goal from the 2, and the Cowboys the fullback cannot go. Crossland, and he loses a yard or so on the play. Lofton and Alexander make the play on Julius Crossland. He is a junior from Amarillo, Texas.
Well, that play just kind of looked disjointed from the start because it didn't look like that Julius Crossland was making any positive movement there towards the line of scrimmage and kind of going sideways here. You don't want to do that as a big tailback. You need to cut up in that hole, and Crossland just allowing the Oklahoma defense to gang tackle in there. Probably a loss on the play. Let's take a look at Marcus Granger down.
And we mentioned Crossland from Texas. Speaking of Texas, a whole lot of folks in the Lone Star State that are interested in what's going on here today, a lot more than they were yesterday, with Texas falling to Texas A&M and leaving the Big 12 South Championship at stake. Oklahoma, Bob Stoops' club, and their amazing turnaround from 3-2 to win 6 straight. Even though they lost to Texas, they win here today. They go as the outright Big 12 South champion to Kansas City to meet Nebraska for the Dr. Pepper Championship game next Saturday. And an Oklahoma loss, they would share the South, but Texas, having won head-to-head, would then go to Kansas City. So, Mac Brown, as you fidget on your couch, and the rest of Texas fans, it's a heck of a game here and a critical play coming up for OSU.
Yeah, I'm sure all those Longhorn fans that are watching this football game just kind of scratching their head. You know, how do we let a couple of games get away? Kansas State, and again, what happened yesterday, Texas A&M coming away with a victory there. So Oklahoma perhaps the benefactor of that, although Texas did, you know, they got the best of Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout game down in Dallas earlier this year, but now Oklahoma, though, with a chance to win the Big 12 South with a victory here today.
Robinson, the quarterback. Reed has been taken to the locker room as they check on his shoulder. It is 3rd and goal from the 4. Robinson rolls out. Stopped down near the 1. Thought he might go to Bowman, but I think Robinson saw a little gap here, Gary.
Well, Lewis Baker, the weak side linebacker, comes through, and he's trying to make a play here. Watch number 16 cut through there and get right underneath the legs here. He's going to jump right over and whoop, fly by, and good job. The linebacker, Rufus Alexander, coming around and making the tackle, stopping him short. So 4th down here. It looks like Mike Gunny's electing to go for it at the 1-yard line.
We're in the early moments of the 4th quarter, 4th and goal. Savage, the running back, behind the quarterback, Robinson. Clausen also in there. Here is Robinson. Tries to dive over, lost the football, and it's recovered. No, not yet. Still under contention. Oklahoma has recovered the football. Demario Pleasant, the junior from Louisville, Texas. And the Sooners recover it in the end zone. We talked about a possible big play or a mistake to turn this game, and this might do it.
Well, this is Zach Robinson making a huge mistake here. If you take him around the edge here and you'll stop it right when I tell you, stop it right there, you can go to the outside, you can pitch it, you got your pitch man coming right to the end zone, nobody out there to him. Dontrell Savage could have had an easy touchdown on the pitch, but Zach Robinson electing to take it up into the heart of the defense. Reggie Smith, the first to contact him there, trying to dive up, and take a look there. Zach Latimer making the contact as well. Curtis Lofton helping. The ball is loose. He fumbled the ball out. Looked like he tried to advance it towards the goal line.
Tried to break that plane and wasn't able to do so.
The play is under review.
So we'll go to the first play of the day to be officially instant replay and reviewed.
Well, I'm sure we're going to take a look at, did he actually get to the goal line? That's the whole spot here. Where is the football? We'll take a look. We're right down the goal line. He's not down. He's not down by contact. Where's the ball?
Oh, very,
right
very
there.
close.
So I tell you, that from this angle, that looks like that actually might be over the goal line, or does he have control of it right at the goal line? That's a tough call.
Very tough, and it's being shown on the big screen here. OSU fans are all of a sudden getting encouraged. OU fans getting a little nervous. Savage had a shot at recovering first of all, and then Pleasant came up with it for the Sooners.
All that they have to do, though, for Zach Robinson is to get the point of the football over the first part of that white line, which is the goal line, and that would be a touchdown. Now, if there is enough evidence in the minds of the officials that that ball actually did break the plane of the goal line, this is going to be a touchdown for Oklahoma State.
Robinson, again, the redshirt freshman from Littleton, Colorado, but he has played quite a bit and played in the last couple of games. In fact, last week against Texas Tech, he was 2 of 13 in the passing game. He had 19 yards. He also ran a couple of times. And as they sort it out, we wait, obviously.
Ball was fumbled in the field of play into the end zone. Recovered by Oklahoma. That's a touchback. First down on the 20.
All right, the calling on the field shall stand, and Oklahoma will get it 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. And again, you get to that point in replay, and my gosh, we know we've had enough controversy. Oklahoma certainly knows that, but it's got to be without a doubt, Gary.
Now we'll take another look at it here, and Zach Robinson trying to extend that football over. The ball is coming out there, doesn't have control of it, doesn't break the plane of the goal line, but really the play here is to Dontrell Savage. If he had pitched the ball out there to him, there's no Oklahoma player responsible for him on that option play, and Zach Robinson decided to take it up inside, which shows here it was the wrong decision to make.
They did not see overwhelming evidence in the video, so as a result, Sooners get it 1st and 10 at their own 20 with 13:19 to go in the 4th quarter. And surprise, surprise, they come back to their running game, which has been absolute dominant today. Nathan made the tackle here.
Well, let's take a look here as Dontrell Savage goes around here. This is the option play. You see the lead block there, the load block on the end. Okay, if you hold it right there, stop it. You can see here he's cutting up. He just got to pitch his football. There is no way that he could get out there to make that tackle. That's Marcus Walker. Go ahead and let it roll here. A little pitch, and it would have been a touchdown. But he chooses to go in there to the heart of the defense, and they knock the ball loose, and they get it going the other way.
2 difficult decisions, though, for the quarterback coming in. Robinson in the previous call where he elected, instead of passing, to keep on the run, and then on this case where he may have had the option and may have had the better opportunity than outside. Still very inexperienced as a redshirt freshman. And Oklahoma, with 237 yards rushing through 3 quarters, comes back to the ground game. Austin Kennedy and Johnson make the tackle here.
And was it too early for Mike Gundy to say, let's go for the field goal, for the touchdown instead of the field goal attempt? Only down, you're down 27-14, would have been down 10 points. 2 possessions still to go to get that back, and plenty of time left in this football game. 12 minutes to go here on the clock, so Oklahoma State elected to go for it on 4th and goal at the 1-yard line and come up with nothing. And now their defense is asked to go out there again to stop this Oklahoma offense.
All right, 3rd and 6 as the Cowboy fans urge their players on. Sooners 3rd and 6 from the 24 of OU. Brown, and he is tripped up. Knifing through is Andre Sexton, the leading tackler on the year, junior out of Cy Falls High School down in the Houston suburban area. And give that Cowboy defense some credit, as could have been a very demoralizing play. They come back and turn things around and give their offense, or should give them, a pretty good opportunity here in their return game.
Yeah, Oklahoma's done a good job of running the football today against this Cowboy defense. They like to run it 3 times there, but good job. They responded, the Cowboys did, and now they're going to force a punt.
Tommy Devereaux is the deep man. Staying away from it, and it bounces over to the Oklahoma sideline. So good field possession for OSU with 11:06 to go in the game here in Stillwater. Welcome back, Pistol Pete and the Cowboys on the short side. Our Kyocera College football Saturday, trailing 27-14. Been tossing out awards voted on by our FSN crew today for Big 12 football throughout this season. And the vote turns Bob Stoops as the FSN Coach of the Year in the league. 6 straight wins. They were certainly in dire straits at 3-2. They lost the game, question mark, against Oregon. Texas beat them down in the Cotton Bowl. They've had injuries, they've had dismissals, and haven't skipped a beat. Bobby Reed is back in here for OSU, and the pitch here as Smith makes the tackle on Tostin, and they'll have it near midfield. Let's go down to Emily Jones.
Well, guys, Bobby Reed back in the game after having that left shoulder evaluated in the locker room, and he was back on the sidelines in time to tell his backup, Zach Robinson, keep your chin up. You're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. Next time, just go over the top. So Zach Robinson getting some words of encouragement from Bobby Reed.
All right, they all want this one so badly.
Well, you saw on that play, Bobby Reed coming around the edge there and had the same thing, a monkey in the middle kind of a situation where you have a guy in the middle between you. You pitch it to the outside, you can't cover him on the option, and I'm sure he'll talk to Zach about that when we review that goal line play.
First and 10 at midfield. Reed will have to scramble with the football. Got a big block! Oh, mama, what a hit on Rufus Alexander by DeJuan Woods. And that gets this crowd juiced here in Stillwater.
Well, sometimes it takes a block like that to kind of get everybody going, and DeJuan Woods on the outside, we talked about him and his frame. Huge receiver, just cleans up Mr. Alexander.
And then Reed definitely steps right out of bounds. Thank you very much. Fans see that on the big board here. Rufus Alexander's had plenty of big hits. Absorbed one there. First and 10 at the 37 for OSU. Bowman will go in motion. Reed rolls out that way. Gonna keep the football again. Stop near the 32-yard line. Curtis Lofton, sophomore from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Far from the OSU campus, makes the stop. While Oklahoma State in the first half, 105 total yards. Here in the second half, with 10+ minutes to go in the ball game, already 198 yards.
Well, they've thrown the ball around a little bit more. They're not doing a great job of running the ball. Dontrell Savage only 50 yards in his ball game. Bobby Reed 30 yards on the ground. So those two getting the bulk of the work running the football, but the passing game has picked up significantly here for Oklahoma State here in the second half.
2nd and 5 of the 32. Savage ran for 122 scores last week in the loss to Tech. Tostin gets a carry here. Hard yards against that OU defense that against the run is second in the league, 20th in the nation, allowing just 97 a game. Let's go down to Jim Knox with more on injuries.
All right, DeMarcus Granger, you may remember he was hobbled off that last defensive stand at the goal line. Well, apparently the Sooners' depth on defensive line just got a little thin. DeMarcus Granger out right now with an ankle sprain.
Thank you, Jim.
Now they got C.J. Ayu in there at the nose right there, number 99. That's where Granger would normally be. They've gone with a three-man line here several times this season for Oklahoma, and they bring the perimeter players, all these different guys around the edge, and they'll blitz. They'll show a lot of different things here to this quarterback.
3rd and 5 for Robinson this time. He delivers to Bowman. Bowman hangs on and drags two of them with him across the 20-yard line. Move those chains as Lewis Baker brings him down.
It was a zone blitz by Oklahoma that time. They choose to bring him on from the weak side, which is the left side of the quarterback. He just throws the ball out there nicely to Darius Bowman. Good job of executing it there. He's a big body. He's going to carry some of those defenders down the field and did a nice job with yards after the catch that time.
11 yards, 6 receptions, 80 yards for the day for Bowman. 1st and 10 pokes at the 19. And again, Tostin breaking tackles at the 10, and he moves it all the way to the 5-yard line. Keith Tostin, the freshman from Angleton, Texas. He came in with 540 yards rushing and 4 scores. Harris tackled him here.
Good job of running here. Good block at the point of attack. Nobody's in the hole there. Tostin just breaks the tackle there. Lindy Holmes can't get him down with a 2 or 3 yard gain, and he just runs over Nick Harris.
Are we seeing the depth at running back for these two teams today? And as a result, first down and goal to go. And Tostin trying to hang on as he gets a couple of yards near the 3-yard line.
Oklahoma State, they've done a great job rushing the ball all year, Bill. They actually have 4 players who have rushed for over 400 yards this season and have a chance to get to 4 of them over 500 yards. Bobby Reed being able to get to that mark. Take a look here, over 400 yards each, and Bobby Reed, if he gets up to 500 yards, it'd be a tremendous feat to have that kind of running power. They spread it around. All these guys are getting the action. We haven't seen Mike Hamilton today, who had the bulk of the work early this season.
Best running team in the league coming in. OU's overshadowed them today, but they've gotten it going with the rushing game here in the second half. Second and goal from the 3. Reed, he looked to the outside and then takes it up the middle, and he is stopped by Carl Pendleton at the 2, it appears.
Yeah, he wanted DeJuan Woods on the outside. It was man-to-man coverage out there, and Lindy Holmes has got him right there. Good coverage. Reed back to the quarterback. He stops and goes underneath, and Bobby Reed, seeing that good coverage, he chooses not to throw the football and make a negative play, and Bobby Reed's got an equipment problem here. He's coming to the sideline.
So that'll send Robinson back into the heat of action with a 3rd and goal from the 2.
He kind of lost a snap or something on his face mask or his chin strap, and he had to come out.
So Robinson take the snap here. Tostin is the lone back. Robinson, that pass was deflected and nearly picked off. And again, CJIU, he has played great down the stretch. He had a couple of sacks in the Baylor game, Gary, and got those big hands up and knocked that one away.
Yeah, he can play inside, he can play outside. His stock is really rising, I think, as a defensive lineman, a guy who has multiple ability. Trying again to go to DeJuan Woods on the outside. Lindy Holmes with the 1-on coverage. And, you know, he used to throw it out there to his brother, Rashawn Woods, for Oklahoma State years ago, and trying to do the same thing there, but IU not allowing the ball to get out there.
Critical play coming up. OSU wants to think about it, so they'll call a timeout here with 6:45 to go in the 4th. We'll return after this word from Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottle. Welcome back. Critical part of the game. 6:46 to play. Oklahoma State with the football. 4th down and goal from the 2. Bobby Reed back in the game as the quarterback. OU's red zone defense, here's how they've done.
The second time now, Mike Gundy choosing to go for here inside the 5-yard line against the Sooner defense.
Poston in motion. Reed looking left. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. DeJuan Woods. And OSU stays right in the hunt.
Well, just so much room to work with here. Reggie Smith has inside coverage on DeJuan Woods, but when he turns to go to the outside, there's no way that Reggie Smith is going to come over to make this play. Good easy throw for Bobby Reed, and Reggie Smith just too far inside. Too much room, real estate to work with for DeJuan Woods to go out there and make that throw.
And now the point after with a 27-20. Remember, Hartley missed one earlier for Oklahoma. You never know how those things are going to play out. And the kick is good. Ricks bangs it through. Jason, the sophomore. Woods, the TD, and it's 27-21. Woods on the TD reception. Welcome back. Oklahoma with a 6-point lead, getting the football, 27-21. This week's Dr. Pepper Student Athlete of the Week honors go to Darnell Smith from Oklahoma State, the econ and international business major, 4-time first-team all-academic Big 12 selection. Smith out of San Antonio Taft High School, 6'1", 260. Congratulations. Oklahoma State, no time to celebrate. The 10-play, 60-yard drive on the Dodge scoring drive took 4:25. It was worth it. They got the touchdown, and now Redden will kick it off for the Cowboys. Glacius and Smith, both dangerous return men. Smith says, I'll take a knee and bring it out to the 20-yard line as Oklahoma will come on here with their offensive unit. Now, remember Rashawn Woods in 2000 with that big catch down in Norman? And how about his brother DeJuan Woods?
Similar
today.
Play. Yeah. Same result, touchdown.
There's so much that goes on with the Woods family in Oklahoma State and in Bedlam football, and the crowd trying to jack up the OSU defense right now.
And the OSU defense is calling on the crowd to get into this thing. The 2 defensive tackles inside there for him, Ryan McBean, Larry Brown, trying to get fired up here in this football game.
Oklahoma State trying to get its 7th win, seal a bowl bid, and knock OU out of the Big 12 championship game. And there's the first big hit. A loss on the play as Alan Patrick is rocked by Smith and Fountain.
Great job by Marquis Fountain getting penetration there, and Smith as well. So get penetration in the back of a good running football team, and that's what happens. Nobody blocks Markeith Mountain. He gets back there trying to get the kick-out block. Oklahoma State now stopped Oklahoma the last 3 times on the field, so Oklahoma need to get something going here if they're going to perhaps seal a victory and move on to the Big 12 championship game.
Second down and 11 for the Sooners. Patrick stays in as Thompson. All on the signals. Play action here. Thompson will keep the football. And he dives near the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd and long as Alex Odiari makes the stop, a sophomore out of Carrollton, Texas, from Hebron High School.
Well, they were going to try to get it to Zane Zaslaw, the fullback, coming out of the backfield again, but he gets tripped up and falls down, so Paul Thompson has no options to go to. Watch number 45 come out of the backfield, and he falls and slips down, and you'll see him on the ground as Paul Thompson runs by here. Nowhere to go with that football, so Paul Thompson taking it on the shoulder.
3rd and 10 from the 20. Crowd roaring here, Bedlam football in Stillwater.
One of the loudest places in the Big 12. All the coaches talk about it. The fans are so close to the field here.
Thompson, good protection and complete. Oh, Kelly dropped the football. Couldn't hang on. Malcolm Kelly, Donovan Woods applying the discipline there. Kelly, a guy who's been pretty much silenced today, Gary.
Well, Donovan Woods comes up with perhaps the biggest hit of this season here for Vance Bedford's defense. Doing a good job coming across Malcolm Kelly. Looks like he might have the first down, but not controlling the football. And Donovan Woods making sure of that, wrapping him up before he could pull the ball back. So now the Oklahoma State defense has done it 3 times in a row now against Oklahoma, stopping them, and they're going to get the football back.
Cohen, low snap, no rush, low kick. Devereaux will field it. 40, 45, and hit hard there on the OSU sideline. Cowboys get great field position after a 41-yard kick and a 5-yard return. Don't go anywhere. College Football Saturday on FSN is presented by Cell Phone Karma. It's real Kyocera Wireless reminds you to please dial responsibly. And brought to you in part by Acura Advance. And by Dr. Pepper. 23 flavors that add up to one bold taste. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it. Well, there's plenty more to this one, folks, as the Sooners and the Cowboys hooked up in a Danley of Bedlam. 27-21, Oklahoma. The Cowboys have possession with 4:29 remaining. A pair of timeouts as well. And it's 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line of OSU. And the handoff going nowhere with Toston as he's wrapped up near the sideline. Now Dr. Pepper game break. Let's go to Mike Goldberg.
Well, Bill, Bedlam has given you a great one, and the rivalries continue. Game 2 here on FSN from the desert. Hey, how about this? For the first time since Desert Swarm and Jake the Snake, both Arizona and Arizona State have winning records. That year, 93. That game, top of the hour.
I thank you, Mike. Reed under pressure throws this one. Oh, I think row 19.
Got a souvenir up there. Yeah, but now brings up a big 3rd down here. Nothing going on 1st down, trying to run the football. The Sooners not allowing them to get anything going, and Bobby Reed having to throw one up in the stands to not have a negative play. So 3rd down here. So this is a situation I think that Mike Gundy's got to think, okay, is this the time of the football game where it's 2 downs for a 1st down? Don't necessarily have to get it all in one chunk here, 10 yards here, 3rd and 10 coming up.
Good point. 3rd and 10 at the 46. Toston standing beside Reed, the quarterback, in the backfield. Parks and Bowman wide right. Woods to the left. He had the last score. Reed, here they come. Harris coming after him, and he is nailed. IU and Nick Harris get the sack at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Harris blitzes from the outside, and that's what Bobby Reed sees, and he kind of puts the brakes on, but CJ IU comes inside as well. Watch on the outside. You're going to have Nick Harris come into the backfield, number 5. Then IU come right underneath, and nowhere to go for Bobby Reed.
And now OSU saying, all right, we better hustle up, kick it away with the clock moving. And that brings Fodge on. They'll have to use those timeouts possibly to try to slow OU down and try to get the ball back one more time. Reggie Smith is deep as Fodge is on to punt. Fair catch called, and Smith who had some great plays and some not so great last week, hangs on to the football here, taking care of business. Here's a look at our KFC Famous Bowls BCS rankings. And Ohio State is in, of course. Michigan sitting there hoping for a right scenario that might get them to the BCS title game. Comes down to Southern Cal, takes care of business against Notre Dame today. And UCLA, they will be in. But Florida's still in the hunt as well. And you take a look at the one-loss teams that are hoping for a strange combination to get them to the championship game, and there they are.
Well, you see at Oklahoma, we've got a question mark there, 9-2. Remember, the Oregon game could be 10-1, perhaps 11-1 if they hang on to win this football game here against the Cowboys. But the Cowboy defense has played very well the last 3 series against this Sooner football team. They're going to need that same type of an effort to get that ball back to their offense if they're going to have a chance to come back and win this ball game.
All right, clock ticking. Sooners will use that play clock to their advantage. And the 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Paul Thompson having to call timeout out there on the field.
Timeout, Oklahoma.
The trophy that's at stake here today as Oklahoma calls timeout. Bedlam, of course, inspired from the wrestling days between OU and OSU, and a writer terming it with Bedlam when these two got together, and it has stuck, and today's game has stuck to that tag.
Now, Bedlam, that's a scene or state of wild uproar and confusion. That's the definition of Bedlam. So you didn't know that when you take some more look at our FSM Big 12 awards, take a look at our FSM defensive players, and we picked out a couple of them. Aaron Ross from Texas, one of the best cover guys in the nation, and we think Rufus Alexander as well with what he's done to get Oklahoma the top 10 defense in the country. So those two players pulling down the awards for the defensive players of the year for our FSM group.
And the FSN Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, a really difficult call, but Zach Taylor setting passing records at Nebraska, taking them to the championship game and rebuilding things under Coach Callahan up there. And a guy who's from Norman, Oklahoma, whose daddy played for the Sooners. So why not on a Bedlam Saturday get him that award?
Yeah, gotta get him in there, Zach Taylor. He has done a great job. He has come into his own this year. He's learned the offense from Coach Callahan up there, and things have gone very well for Nebraska this year. And there's a chance they'll be seeing these Sooners next weekend.
All right, 1st and 10 at the 23 now for Oklahoma. And Patrick Allen, junior out of Conway, South Carolina, is stopped by Jeremy Nathan, and the clock ticking here. Remember, Mike Gundy's got 2 timeouts left to work with.
Yeah, they'll call him after this down in the 3rd down if they're able to stop him before they get a 1st down. So Oklahoma trying to use as much time on the clock as possible. Paul Thompson's going to take it down to the very last tick, and I'd be very surprised if they do anything but run the football here.
Patrick, 22 carries, 167 yards. Chris Brown, 19 for 74 yards today to pace this ground attack of Oklahoma. Thompson on 2nd and 9. And the leg tackle, a loss on the play, as Patrick is brought down by Marquis Fountain. And now Oklahoma State calls timeout with 1:43 to make a change on our clock that you're looking at.
Good play for a negative gain there. That time by Marquis Fountain, getting up the field, the defensive end, not allowing Alan Patrick with his speed to get around the edge. So Bob Stoops trying to figure out here what does he need to do to hang on to win this football game. It's clock management now for both these football teams, using your timeouts, and hopefully your offense and defensive teams can do what they need to for your respective team to get the ball back if that's what you're looking for.
Well, the wheels are turning now with these two clubs here. And look at the fans and how this is something that everybody looks forward to throughout. 42,819 here today as Oklahoma State has lost the last 3 of these games, but they've always played them great here in Stillwater, certainly in most recent years.
You know, I was making a joke, Bill, you and I live in Oklahoma. You've lived here for 18, 19 years before, and you know, there's a lot of things that they cover here on the local networks, and one of them is the weather. I mean, they're huge about covering the weather, no doubt about that. And after Texas's loss yesterday, I was kind of thinking, man, they're going to have a cut in right now knowing that Texas lost. But this gives Oklahoma a chance to be in the Big 12 championship game with a win against the Cowboys. And it just makes more flavor, more of this rivalry mean more to these teams, and I think the fans around the state.
They just get lathered up for this as we've come down to 1:43 to go, 3rd and 13, and the Cowboys need one more stop in order to get the football back.
Shotgun here for Oklahoma.
Thompson. That comes up. Maybe changing the play. Going to keep the football. Nothing silly here, and OSU roars as he stopped at the 21 by Van Zandt and Chatham, and they stopped the clock. And now they're out of timeouts. It's the bad news. The good news, they're going to get the football back, and they should get it back in pretty good position, Gary.
Oh, great job by Jerry Chatham, number 96, coming up there. He just destroys the offensive guard who doesn't make a good enough effort to block him, and he gets one hand on Paul Thompson and brings him down. He knows his defense is doing a good job, and Gundy's using his timeouts. That's his last one, so Oklahoma is going to be punting the football here at Oklahoma State. Looks like they'll have Bill just about a minute and 20 or so to go on the clock. And remember, in college football, the new rule, when the ball changes possessions on the first offensive snap, the clock is set in motion. So on this change of possession here, Oklahoma State is going to be.
Our Kyocera Wireless call of the game, the start of the third quarter for Oklahoma, and Patrick going the distance. And on a 1st and 10, right up the middle. Alan Patrick to the 20. He will score. No flags. Touchdown Sooners. And that set the tone for a wild second half. Here is Cohen on to punt. Junior out of Houston, Texas. Devereaux catches the football. Spins. Oklahoma, great coverage. 36, 37-yard line, a 45-yard punt, 3-yard return. And the clock stopped until they're ready to establish possession, and Oklahoma State will get the football. Remember, the Cowboys 6-5 need to win to seal a bowl bid. Kansas lost today. They're 6-6. 6 wins only means you're bowl eligible. And Oklahoma, a win. They're to Kansas City in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game against Nebraska. A loss, and Texas would go. 1st and 10. Robinson, he delivers, and it is to Woods at the 43-yard line.
Well, Zach Robinson getting the nod here in the no-huddle throwing quarterback. Zach Robinson has done that most of the day today.
And Robinson. Incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 1:04 to go. And it'll be 3rd and 2 coming up. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com, your online source for savings on everything from video games to big screen TVs.
Now, the most important thing here is a first down for Oklahoma State. The clock will stop. If they get a first down, they'll be able to get up the line of scrimmage, but very important 3rd down here. You'd like to get that first down out of the way right now.
3rd and 2. Robinson.
Ball's gone!
Overthrows DeJuan Woods, and 4th down now as we cut inside a minute.
Well, tough play call now for Mike Gundy and Larry Fedora. What do you do here on 4th down? 4th and 2 in this situation. Boy, you've got your number 2 quarterback in the ball game, Zach Robinson. Bobby Reed, who's played the bulk of the snaps this season, on the sidelines, and they're choosing to go with Zach Robinson in this 2-minute situation. And this could be the season here for Oklahoma State.
4th and 2. Cowboys out of timeouts. They're at the 46-yard line. Robinson keeps the football. He's got the first down. Now they'll have to hustle. Crosses midfield at the 49. Rufus Alexander making the tackle.
The clock stops, no doubt about it. They've got a chance to get up there. And no hurry here. They need to get up the line of scrimmage. They'll set the play in motion here. Running play, and should be ready to snap the ball within a second or two.
And with 52 seconds to go. 1st and 10. Robinson.
Ball's gone!
Incomplete. Intended for Bowman. Getting a hand in there was Lewis Baker. So they were risking throwing over the middle.
As long as it's enough for a first down yardage. Look at Lewis Baker, number 16. He's got inside the coverage there on Adarius Bowman. He does get a couple of hands on it, not allowing Bowman to pull that ball in. But, Bill, that's an okay place to throw the football in college football, because on the first down, you're going to get a clock stoppage.
You got to make sure you're deep enough. He was. He's had 6 receptions today. 2nd and 10 at the 49. Robinson pulls forward. He did not get the first down. He stopped near the 42-yard line, and that clock keeps moving. No timeouts. Baker made the tackle.
They may have to stop the clock here with a quick throw to the ground, or they're going to just run a play. Looks like they got a play called here.
Third down. In trouble. And smartly got rid of it, because if he is sacked there, that's probably the ball game.
And even going to bring up another fourth down here, I think, for Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy's got a real decision here. You know, you got to get that first down. What's the best play to do that? Are you going to run the football again as you did previously? It looks to me like Zach Robinson might be a little winded out there, perhaps not ready to play in this ball game as much as he has.
Cowboys, fourth down. They need 3 for the first down, but obviously the clock the bigger concern. Robinson, and it's complete to Parks. He's to the 25-yard line. That'll stop the clock momentarily. Smith makes the tackle. 12 seconds to go. You spike it or run a play?
I think you do whatever you can. If you can get back and you can throw one up there, get 2 shots at the end zone, take a shot.
Robinson will do just that. And he spikes the football. All right. So they're fortunate, though.
Yeah, even with this, you're going to have 2 plays here to run, and you got to throw them towards the end zone, or at least out on the sidelines, out of bounds. Not a lot of time to work with here. 10 seconds, you'll have a chance to run 2 plays, I think, offensively, Bill. And Zach Robinson throwing outside to Parks here, the second receiver on the out route, on the slant route.
Ten seconds remaining. Second down.
And I think you got to go to your playmakers, DeJuan Woods and Adarius Bowman. They're on the near sideline.
They come after Robinson. Incomplete. Bowman over the middle.
That would have been enough for a first down. The clock would have stopped. They would have had another play at the 5-yard line if he had been tackled right there. So now they're going to have to throw the ball into the end zone. There's no other opportunity here for Oklahoma State. Take another look at it. Decent throw up high, though. That 6'5 receiver is stretching his frame all the way out, not able to pull that ball down. So this is a season for Oklahoma State to determine whether they go to a bowl game or whether University of Oklahoma goes to the Big 12 championship.
Price and Pettigrew are in the ball game. Here it is. With 5 seconds to go. Robinson, they come after him again. He lofts it. Incomplete. Ball game. Oklahoma, Big 12 South champs. The Sooners are headed to Kansas City and the Big 12 championship game. Lindy Holmes knocked it away, and the Sooners win a thriller in Bedlam football.
Great ball game here today with the Sooners and the Cowboys, no doubt about that. Back and forth. Tell you, the Oklahoma State Cowboys showed a little resolve coming back in this football game. Oklahoma seemed like they were in complete control, running the football, but the Cowboy defense responded, Bill, with a chance here to tie it up here at the end with perhaps an extra point to win the ball game. But Bob Stoops gets his Big 12 championship berth now with this win in this football game. Great job here by the Sooner defense at the end. Lindy Holmes going to be able to tip this ball away from DeJuan Woods where he cannot catch the football. Great job tip there. I don't know if he'd been able to catch it as well.
Mike Gundy, they gave it a shot. He, unfortunately for the Cowboys, he's seen that story before. Bob Stoops on the other sideline.
Boy. We got through that one, huh, Bob? That's what he's saying.
All right, let's go down to Jim Knox, see if Bob's any more excited now.
All right, thank you very much. Coach, I tell you what, typical Bedlam game, I guess. You can't say enough for your defense coming up big at the end.
We did, fourth down stop earlier and then make them throw a 4th and 2, and they make it, and then down here we got them stopped. So, yeah, it was an exciting game. We got fortunate in some ways and won it.
Talk about that offense. Alan Patrick back, it looks like he's healthy.
He's a stud. I tell you, it's great to have AP back, and appreciate all of them. All these guys have been just fabulous to work with. Assistant coaches have done a great job with these guys.
Your thoughts about now representing the Big 12 South and going to the Big 12 championship game and playing Nebraska?
Excited about that. Another rivalry, and hey, great job.
Reed right there, give him congratulations.
I appreciate it, but it's exciting being the Big 12 championship game again, and Nebraska, an old rival, still a rival, but when we used to play every year, so we're excited about the opportunity.
Coach, congratulations. Bill?
All right, Jim, that'll be a first-time matchup in the Big 12 championship game between Oklahoma and Nebraska, and it is the Sooners' 4th trip to the Big 12 championship game. The emotion shown here of Bedlam football. as it is Oklahoma, the South champ. Gary, what a ball game.
Yeah, and then you got the 6-6 Oklahoma State Cowboys. Whether or not they're going to go to a bowl game, we're going to have to figure that out here as this thing unfolds, because you have 2 6-6 teams now with Kansas at the same mix. So, but a huge win for Oklahoma, coming away with the berth now to the Big 12 championship game, and it'll be a fun one to watch against Nebraska.
Bedlam lives up to its name once again here in Stillwater. The disappointed Cowboy fans and elated Oklahoma sideline as the Sooners move on for the Big 12 championship. Bill Land for Gary Reeves and Jim Knox and Emily Jones saying so long from Stillwater. Oklahoma 27, OSU 21. Let's join Mike Goldberg and company in our college football